Welcome back to Punch Drunk Nerd, the podcast where three friends, three amigos, three bambinos come together to talk about nerd shit. My name is Luis Gonzalez, and with me is...
Miguel Sanchez.
That's right! And Ed Ball isn't with us right now because he's actually seeing The Brutalist, if you can believe it or not. So he's going to pop in after, he spent 6 hours in the movie theater. He's going to come back. But in this episode, we're going to do our top 5 movies we're excited for. We're also going to talk about, things that we've been into, things that we've been watching. Like, I've watched Janora, Miguel watched Trap, Ed finally watched Wicked. We're going to talk about all of that near at the end of the episode. But before we do all of those things, we got to talk about the news, okay? Some big news, coming out. Miguel.
Yes.
You put this in the doc.
No, I didn't, but I'll talk about it.
I'm just kidding.
I was like, let's go. I'm ready.
No, George Miller, George Miller, the guy who did, Mad
Fury
Max.
Road,
yeah,
and all those other ones. He was going to do
Mad
Justice
Max,
League.
And then the other Mad Max.
That's right.
It's all like, yeah. No, he did the Penguin movie, didn't he?
What?
The Happy Feet.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Colin Farrell. I'm like, no, baby.
No, not that Penguin movie. No, George Miller, he's coming. So there's a lot of rumors going around in the rumor mill. Some of the rumors that are going around is that he might direct a Hulk movie.
This is new to me.
Yeah. I too.
We talked about Thor earlier this week, but I hadn't heard Hulk yet. No,
there's talks about a Hulk, and they're saying, like, let's get some of these heroes that we like a lot: Spider-Man, Hulk, Wolverine. Let's put them in the fucking forefront because those are the heroes that sell toys.
Honestly,
they're like, listen, these side characters ain't doing it. We just got to get these main characters up and running again.
Yeah, and I commend Marvel for trying to do the side characters and bringing them to the forefront. It just seems so natural, especially after like the ending of the original 6 Marvel Avengers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been the phase 4 and 5 or whatever we're in right now has been really lackluster, and I could see
rough.
A studio exec being like, Hulk. Like, how many years did they beg for a Hulk movie, and they were like, we can't do it.
Yeah,
but and now all of a sudden they figured it out.
Yeah, it's because it used to go through some legal thing. Like, if they made a Hulk movie, it had to go through Universal first, and then Universal had to deny or pass. So the way they've kind of gone around that is they put him in other movies. Like, he was in the Thor movie,
right.
He was in the She-Hulk TV show. He was in something else. He was in the Avengers and blah blah blah. I don't know. Anyway, they're going to go through all that. It's going to be World War Hulk. Okay. Imagine the wasteland with just a bunch of Hulks running around. That's the movie.
Man.
What do you think about that? He's also potentially might be directing us.
I love that rhetorical question. That was good.
Well, honestly, it was a question, but then there was an empty space. And I was like, well, got to keep the train rolling.
That's that ADHD. You didn't even let me breathe. I was like,
that's the producer in me, to be honest, because I don't want any awkward breaks and pauses in this podcast.
Don't think on this podcast. Only speak. Got it.
Only speak. No thinking. No, did you have a thought about the World War Hulk?
I just think, like, I can't imagine this iteration of Bruce Banner. Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. You know what I mean? I think we've really gone as far as we can with his character.
I think they're going to revert back to his like. He needs like they're done with the smart Hulk. Everyone's like, we're done with that. We need to go back.
We are.
To it. Yeah.
I want Hulk to be scary again. Like, make Hulk scary again, please.
Like, that's why they're bringing the red Hulk right now. It's like, well, we can't do it right now with the green one, so let's do it with the red one.
Yeah. And especially with George Miller, it seems like kind of a waste because he's got such a fantastic vision on how he
it'd be
does
actually
movies.
Pretty dope to do a World War Hulk movie with George Miller. Like, put a little Furiosa in that. Oof, I love it.
I know, that's what I'm saying, and I just need more scary, angry Hulk.
Yeah,
and that's all I was going to say.
So that might be coming. He also might be directing a Thor movie. Obviously, those two have worked together in the last movie, Furiosa, and he's like, "Hey, mate, let's make a movie." And so that's what they're going to do. Potentially, we don't know. There's also word around town that Hulk might be in Spider-Man 4. We don't know that. Like, he's going to have to team up with the Punisher and take on the Hulk.
Shut the fuck up.
That is the word around town. Obviously, like, they could pivot and change to something else.
I've heard Tom Holland and Zendaya, I think both say Zendaya, I forget.
Zendaya.
I've heard them both say, like, they've read the script, but it just needs a little work. And I feel like that's what they're talking about. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, it's like a Fast and Furious movie where you're just like, and it goes boom, and then the Hulk comes, and then the Punisher. Yeah. No, I think they're trying to pair him with some sort of like MCU character, like obviously Iron Man, but in the second Spider-Man, it was Nick Fury. He's paired with that.
Yep.
So this one, they're like, okay, well, maybe and then a third one was Doctor Strange. So maybe this fourth one will be the Hulk. They might be pairing up together, and that'll just be money bags, to be honest. Like,
come on. Yeah.
The Hulk and Spider-Man and Wolverine, they make money.
Yeah, they do.
So that's what we're hearing around the rumor mill. What's not a rumor is Alien Romulus has updated their VFX.
What a world we live in, Luis. Yeah. I mean, I think about this all the time. Like, video games used to come out, good or bad.
Oh,
and they were done. Movies, maybe every so often you get like a director's cut, right?
Yeah.
And they tweak some things, but basically it's like what you saw in the theater is what you saw on the VHS tape.
Yeah,
we live in a new world now, Luis. Lord and Miller. How many times did they perfect that Spider-Man movie?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah,
they do like 15 different iterations of that movie between it releasing
Enter the Spider-Verse. Was that?
Across the Spider-Verse. I think that was
Spider-Verse,
the one. I think that's the one they were really, and that's why they're not doing the third one now. You know what I mean? The dude is like, chill out.
They're like, well, why are you making 5 different versions in theaters?
Like, what are we doing? But you were talking about Alien Romulus, and I think this is like a legit reason to maybe do this.
So Ian Holm, I think that's his name, Ed would be here to kind of say that's correct or not correct. He plays the droid, the robot. What do you call them in the alien world?
I think they're called synthetics.
All right, cool. So synthetics.
Well, I just pulled that shit out of my ass. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think so.
I feel like out of everybody, you're the alien person.
I do like Alien. Yeah. So that sounds right, but we'll
okay.
See.
Well, we'll call it synthetics here in the pod, and it might be right. But no, they redid it. They made it a little bit darker. They also, in the movie, it was a lot more close up to his face. In this Blu-ray release, which is where I think the VFX update is happening, it's a lot more zoomed out. So all the bad VFX isn't like in your face. It's not bright. It's not close up. It's kind of like further back. But the kind of consensus going around the internet is it's still bad. So
it's still not good.
It's still not good.
Yeah, it just is what it is. You can only do so much. I think Marvel is really the only one who's ever really kind of nailed that. And I think maybe in retrospect,
nail it. What do you mean nail what?
Think about
the bad look.
No, Michael Douglas and Ant-Man. Okay, think about they did it with someone else.
Robert Downey Jr.
When they de-aged them, Robert Downey Jr. was a little on the line. But but Marvel was
Nick Fury's was the best one. And Captain Marvel. That was like, whoa, this is like Marvel. How did they do that?
Marvel had the recipe. Like they kind of locked that down. And how we look at it in 10 years maybe feel different, but at the time they were really kind of nailing that look, and it was really hard to do,
Totally.
So I mean, if every movie can't do it, I get it. It was jarring in the theater. That was one of the moments that I was like, oh, okay. It's cool that he's back, especially if you know like who he is, and it kind of like puts it into the timeline a little bit more.
I think it's a really like risky move to do. Like that's the only thing everyone's going to think about. Like, wait a second, isn't he dead or gone or older now? Like there's no way, and so you're automatically pulled out of the movie.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I do think that was like not just the CGI, but that was one of the criticisms of that movie was like how much it kind of like played or tipped its hat towards the original movie, And I think I only watched it the one time in theaters, but I thought it was great. I had a great time overall. But some of those moments maybe didn't sit right with the whole audience.
I tell you, I'm tired of these Easter eggs. Let's stop it. Like, I didn't think that Fede was going to, like, I don't know. I just don't want them anymore. No Easter eggs. Give me a movie without fucking Easter eggs. That's an Easter egg right there,
Yeah, that's
Trying to find an Easter egg. There isn't any, nerds, Any.
Yeah.
There's like 655 Easter eggs that you missed, Arrow. And it's like, there wasn't any. That's a daring move right there, huh? Marvel, why don't you get on that?
Come on, Marvel.
Speaking of Marvel Rivals, have you played this video game, Marvel Rivals?
I keep trying, and I just keep getting discouraged.
You got to be careful. If you play Marvel Rivals, you have to stick it through the whole round. Like if you just dip out, they're like, "Hey, you do that again, we're gonna ban you."
No, my God! And I have a kid, and so the first time I tried playing it, it was like, "Daddy." So all of a sudden I had to be like, all right, well, let me just put this away for now.
Yeah.
You hop out of Fortnite and they're just like, okay, he just left and you take the loss, whatever. But no, this one they hit me with that alert, and I was like, whoa! I didn't realize it was so serious.
You can't take care of your children here. You got to dedicate yourself to the team.
Oh, no. So
I try to play Marvel Rivals, and man, I can't get good at it. And I feel like I have to spend a lot of effort to get good. I really want to be good at it, and I really want to play it, but I just don't know if I can be good at it.
For me, every time I see gameplay of it, it's always like 7 other people all in one tiny room, all doing their powers at each other. Yeah. And I'm just like, I need a little space. That's why I like Fortnite, because I can run around a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, like you get a little space, you get to be a little more tactical. Here, it's like everyone's in here all at once, and plus everyone's trying to get good all at once.
Yeah.
And so it's just like a lot happening, and I'm like, I'm a little overwhelmed. I don't think I'm there yet.
There is an AI bot training session place. I find myself being in, and even then, I'm still like, what are you doing, real player? And the AI bots are getting pissed at me for fucking up.
Hey, that's what they're doing. They're training those AIs. You better watch out.
They really are.
Okay? Don't let them get mad at you. That's what we don't want. All right.
But please and thank yous to AI. Thank you, Alexa.
Absolutely.
Marvel Rivals is coming out with new characters every month and a half. One at the start of a season and one halfway through their season. So if you're not into it now, then good luck getting into it later, because there's going to be a billion Marvel characters in a couple years.
And you're going to miss them all,
Yeah.
Right now it's the Fantastic Four, right? That's who was just...
Yeah, the Fantastic Four was a big one. Invisible Woman's having her spotlight right now. And this is how it was for Marvel Snap too. When I used to play it, they would release cards all the time. And then at some point it's like, what am I even doing? There's too many cards, but I get it. I guess you got to keep the game fresh, because at some point people will get bored.
That's right. Yep.
I don't know. That's tough.
I don't know. I feel like, did you play Overwatch a lot?
No, I never. I think I was too bad at games, and so I was scared to play games, and I didn't play Overwatch at the time.
You are speaking to my soul right now, Luis.
Really?
Thank you. I was the exact same way. That's why it took me forever to get on even Fortnite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've been told that this game is much like Overwatch, and it's like, I never played that. I don't understand the mechanics of that game, so I can't just transfer a skill over. It's not the same thing.
There's a strategy to it. There's a front line, the tankers, the back line. There's a whole placement you got to be at. There's the healers. There's the gun people. So it's just a lot of roles you have to fill. It's like an orchestra. You know?
And that's the other thing that's kind of off-putting, is because it's I can't always get a team of people together, and I don't really want to play with randos,
Right, yeah.
Especially if you have to you have to know how to play and have that tactical sense about you for the game. It's I can't do it with random people, because the entire time I'm going to be thinking, oh my God, they think I suck. Because I'm going to be let me run and just shoot, and it's that's not my role.
They're God damn it, this fucking guy.
What are you doing? It's
why is this healer shooting this person?
I'm avoiding my homework to play right now. Get it together.
I think there's if you do it, I say go into the AI bot training place, and then you kind of feel like you're doing something. But
I like that.
Marvel Rivals, if you're into it, they're going to be adding a character every month and a half. So get on it now if you want to play. We're going to go to our new segment here, our next segment, excuse me, Coming Soon Corner.
Love it.
As Ellen and Nosferatu would say, come to me. So here's what's coming. Shrek 5. Shrek 5. Did you know this movie was coming out? I didn't.
I did. Yeah. Do you read? Come on, man. You're Tinseltown. You got to keep your finger on the pulse about these things. Maybe there's too much. You're too busy talking about raw men in your mouth.
There's a lot of content out there right now. No,
I get it.
There's Reacher. He's having a third final season or something like that.
Okay. Stop. Okay, you're not actually watching Reacher, are you?
No,
are you watching?
The internet is making me act
as
if I've seen Reacher. Everyone's talking about that actor to be Batman. It's out of control. Everyone wants him to be Batman.
So does he, and I get it. I understand why he would. But that's so funny, because it's you're giving us just a look into your algorithm a little bit, because it's I don't get Reacher content at all, but I 1,000% got Shrek content.
Oh, really? No,
baby, I knew Shrek 5 was coming out.
Well, are you disappointed it got pushed back, apparently, right?
I'm when are they ever going to release Shrek 5? Okay?
Yeah.
Wait, hang on a second. Did they do Shrek 4 yet?
I think so.
Was it forever or something?
It's got to be forever, right?
Okay, all right.
Let me look.
Yeah, I know there was a third one. 1, 2, 3. I don't remember the fourth
Shrek
one.
the third.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Shrek Forever sounds right, or whatever.
Shrek Forever After. Thank God they did it right. That's great.
Boom. That's it, right there. I mean, they knew what they were doing, you know? This is definitely a movie that if it falls into like kid movie territory, it's like kind of 50-50 on if we're going to go see it or not. Shrek is one that my kid likes. And obviously like my wife and I, we watched Shrek as younglings.
Yeah.
So there is a chance that like the family in general will be like, yeah, that'll be fun to go see, whatever.
He'll be older too, so they'll have those dirty jokes that he'll be like,
yeah, he'll be kind of like a little more engaged into slightly more mature humor, I guess.
Yeah,
which is also fun. Oh, that's the other one. He loved Puss in Boots. So if these characters, whatever movie we just watched the other day, The Wild Robot, is that DreamWorks?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We watched some.
Yeah, it's DreamWorks.
We watched an animated movie where DreamWorks' logo now, before they get to the moon, is like all the DreamWorks cartoon characters, and so he's like the Shrek, Donkey, Puss in Boots, and then it's like a million other like How to Train a Dragon and things like that. So Shrek 5 is definitely one of those that's possible. I mean, we saw Minions a million times, so it's kind of in the same vein. I feel like
I think that movie's gonna get a lot of money. Like everyone is memeing Shrek all the time. Then that they memed the Minions. Like,
absolutely,
they're gonna come out.
Absolutely,
to watch this movie.
People love to have fun at the theater. They like to have
events. Yeah.
They like to have like an event, and especially if it's like kind of a goofy event.
Yeah.
Like, okay, and then it's like, who cares? Because that's money in the bank for those, studios. It's like, okay, yeah, you want to laugh at our movie? Pay to get in. You know,
this is going to kickstart probably 5, 6, 7 at least.
Man, what a world we live in now where all of these movies are coming back. We kind of went to this weird transition where like 20 years later, we're getting a sequel to movies. But then now we're in this like era where sequels are coming out and they immediately go, oh, and by the way, it's a trilogy. And you're like, whoa, what? Like 28, how many years later? Like, that's insane.
That first movie didn't even come out. They're like, no, it's just going to be a trilogy no matter what.
And it's a trilogy. And you're like, the fuck?
Yeah. It's like it's like TV shows for movies. We're like, well, we have to do 3 at least.
We're going to talk about it later, but you shared that photo from Threads or whatever, and it was like upcoming movies of 2025. And Ed was, I think he was making a joke, but he was dead serious too. Like, it is a lot of sequels. Yeah. It is insane. It is just like a picture into Hollywood, at the present day Hollywood. You know, it has to be an IP. And it has to be a sequel, and it has to be like a for sure money maker. Some of those movies on the list, we'll get to it later, but some of those movies on this list, I'm looking at it like, what is this sequel? We're making a Naked Gun sequel? Who asked for that?
I'm sure that's going to be a trilogy too. They're going to be like, fuck it.
And don't get me wrong, maybe it'll work, but I mean, like, fucking Don Draper, John Hamm. He did some Fletcher movie the other day. A year or two back, it was like some Fletcher. That's a character that Chevy Chase played. Chevy Chase made a few of those movies as his character Fletcher, I think is his name. Okay. And it's like, look, John Hamm came out. They did that movie. They had a good time making it. You could tell it was like kind of a passion project for them. But people did not ask for that movie, and people did not go see it. You know, and so I know people love thinking about Naked Gun. Leslie Nielsen was really fun of an era, of a time, but I just don't think you can capture that kind of magic again. But I might be wrong.
No, I think it might be. Let's see who makes these movies. I'm gonna look at Naked Gun. This one. Let's see who is it.
Is it a Farley's brother?
Paramount Pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Paramount Pictures also did the Fletch movie you're talking about. It's called Confess. Fletch was also a Paramount movie. Yeah. So I just think that Paramount movies don't have, or Paramount doesn't have a lot of great IP to work with. So they're the ones who are trying to make billions and millions and trillions. You know what I mean? They're trying to make that show. I just don't think that they have outside of like Yellowstone, they don't have the juices to like really squeeze out and make, a bunch of content like.
Yeah, it's just, people aren't clamoring for that content, and just because you have it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sell,
Yeah.
But that's a little that just kind of got all wrapped up into the Shrek talk. Sorry. I'm on my mind that it's just kind of crazy the sequels that we're getting.
Yeah. I mean, we had that show, the movie, what's it called? Fall Guy? Like,
yeah,
that's great. Like, what an IP to pull from where nobody knew what that was really, except for like the older generation.
The same thing, like, think all the way back like 10, 15 years ago when Steve Carell and Anne Hathaway did Get Smart.
Oh, yeah.
That was the same thing. That was someone being like, hey, we have the rights to Get Smart, some like 50s or 60s television spy show that was like a goofy comedy. Who's good at goofy comedy? Who's hot right now?
Yeah.
Steve Carell, Anne Hathaway for The Face. Let's make $1 million a night.
Did you see that movie?
Like, no, I didn't.
I did. I saw it in theaters.
Oh shit, my bad. I don't mean to talk shit.
No, don't. I mean, you can talk shit all you want. You know what I mean? It is one of those type of movies where
is
you're
it
like,
memorable? Could you name one scene from that movie right now?
He talks about the cone of silence, and then he screams, and then that's all I kind of remember. I mean, he's goofy, but I think that you're right. I mean, because it was the time where Steve Carell was at his peak with The Office, and I was like, oh, he's doing movies now. And that did get me. Like,
that did work.
Got.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, I was curious to see what it would be like him in a movie. So, yeah, Shrek that's coming out. I'm actually going to jump to this one. Gremlins and Goonies. They're going to bring back Gremlins and the Goonies again. So here we go.
Were they in the same universe?
I don't think so. But I don't know. They're getting coupled together.
Okay.
I think they're coupled together because they're both from Amblin Entertainment, which is Steven Spielberg's company.
I'm going to let you finish introing it first.
So, yeah, there's an announcement. It's like it just got released recently, and Chris Columbus, the guy, he's going to be helping out with the Gremlins movie.
Okay.
And he's, I mean, I think he wants to do it. He's helping Robert Eggers with Nosferatu. So he's like, I'm going to get back in my game and start doing Gremlins. He did Home Alone. He did Harry Potter 1. He did a lot of movies.
No, and he did Goonies. Didn't he do the original Goonies?
I think, yes,
too?
he did the original Goonies too. He did, he did Miss Doubtfire. He did.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like Chris Columbus. I think he's a good director. I think there was like a brief moment when Harry Potter got serious, I feel like everyone was like kind of shitting on those first 2 Harry Potter movies, but it's like, no.
That perfectly captured the magic of being a child.
10,000%. And he just like understands just like that youthful kind of like naivete towards the world, and also that kind of like looking ahead at possibilities, he's really good at that. So I if he's coming back, that does kind of give a little bit more hope. The thing I was going to say is kind of like, do you remember when Netflix was pushing whatever time travel movie last year where the girl goes from like 2020 whatever to 2005, and it's like a big like millennial joke, like they're on their CD players and they're wearing their Ugg boots or whatever. And I talked about it in the moment, but it was just like this. It feels so flat and fake, and it's just like there's no real heart to it. And I just don't really want that for like the 80s, But the fact that you say Christopher Columbus is coming back, it's like, oh, okay, he could capture that feel a lot better.
The same way that George Miller did with Furiosa and Mad Max. That long, like what the third Mad Max Thunderdome was like.
I mean, that had to have been 20 years before that movie, right?
Exactly. So it's kind of the sort of the same-ish quasi.
But if it's someone who like understands that vision, then I feel a little more.
This is the spirit. This is the soul of that franchise.
Yes, then it doesn't just feel so flat and like played for a joke.
Yeah. You know what I hate? I hate it when sequels just like play the old jokes from the previous movie.
Yeah. I think so few get away with it, but it's like 22 Jump Street, I think, did a great job.
They did a great job, yeah.
Their whole bit was like, just do it again, wink, wink. And it's like, oh, okay, you guys get it. Like, you kind of understand why.
God, we had that whole like meta period where we like were very self-referential, like from the 2010s,
What
everything was like,
era.
we're making a movie, wink, wink,
Yeah.
Okay, finally we have it. The scary guy, he's having a TV show. Welcome to Dairytown. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Welcome to Derry. The Derry Girls is not in this. Sorry, Ed. So Welcome to Derry is going to be 3 seasons. There you go. See you again. 1, 2, 3. They already know. Boom. And they're going to go backwards in time.
Yeah.
So the first season is going to be here it is, 1962. Then the second season will be 1935. And then season 3 will be 1908. So
cool.
Because he comes out every 27 years or something like that.
Yeah. Is it going to be the same guy? Is he going to do the TV show, you think?
I don't. That's what IMDb is for. Welcome to Derry. It's got to be, right?
I don't know, man. I feel like he's too big now. I think
it says Bill Skarsgård. Yes.
All right. I mean, it's an easy moneymaker, right? Like he already knows the character.
Yeah.
You can have fun.
He's
with
already
it for
got that
3
eye
seasons.
trick down. You know what I mean? He's been practicing that for months.
My only worry for him is like I don't want him to get pigeonholed into these things.
He said
like,
he wants to play the Joker. He's like, bring it on. I'll play all the freaks.
He said that too, didn't he? And it's like, okay, dude, no. Like
he played the Crow. He played Nosferatu. He's playing, you know.
Oh, I forgot about the Crow, dude.
Yeah.
No, and hey, listen, if he's in his bag, like whatever, I understand. You know, if it works, it works. But it's just like, you know, I think it's dangerous territory for an actor who can potentially do more. You know, Christian Bale, he came out and did Batman for 3 Batman movies, but then think about every movie Christian Bale has made since Batman.
Right.
None of them have looked the same. None of them have been the same.
Like character. American Hustle came out around that time. You know, he's like,
yeah, The Prestige, American Hustle.
Yeah.
One of the later ones, like Ford v Ferrari. You know,
yeah.
It's like he's still coming out with movies that are not just like me playing or leaning back on what I did in a movie that worked 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I just like, you know, Bill Skarsgård. He's a young actor. He's obviously coming up in the world. Who gives a fuck about my opinion about it? You know what I mean? I don't know why I give a shit.
He's like listening to this podcast.
He's like,
you know,
fuck, Miguel's really got this down. No, and Nosferatu was it was that weird vibe, but he was doing something different with it. It was a really good voice. Maybe that's his thing. Maybe he's going to just be like an actor who is like very physical and like the voice is always something different.
Yeah, I mean, he went to like opera school, or he got like tutored by an opera person to lower his octave.
Yeah,
to do Nosferatu, and then he learned the eye thing for it.
Yeah.
You know who?
Yeah. So it's like, okay, maybe I'm talking shit, but he's like, no. It's like fucking tell Andy Serkis to not put on that mocap suit. You know what I mean? He won't. He's gonna do it. You know. So
yeah.
My bad. Now that I think about it, Billy, from one friend to another. Keep going, dude.
Yeah. Check it out. Comes out sometime. Google it.
Earlier, I took a half second to breathe, and you said we're moving on from that talk, and I'm like, God damn it! I thought we were chill on this podcast. Okay, my bad.
All right, we can take a breath. That feels good.
It does. It's nice.
I think I just want to start off strong, but now that we're here, we can like relax.
No, I know. You remember that one episode I did where at like 2 minutes in, I was like, I couldn't breathe. I was talking too fast.
You guys ever take a breath before? You said.
I know. I was having too good. Anyway,
we do have to slow it down because we still have to wait for Ed. Like,
can we talk about it now?
Talk about what, Ed?
No.
Oh, let's talk about it now.
Let's talk about it now.
Okay, let's talk about it now.
Look, let's just talk about it now.
Okay.
All right? I love this segment. Ever since you introduced it, it's been one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Listen, I know you have something here.
We'll talk about that in a second.
It's always something later, okay? Let's talk about this now. Luis, you and I got into a conversation earlier today. Because Ed did not engage with us.
No, he doesn't care about this. You know,
he does not care.
No.
Yeah. Okay. He'll interrupt right now, too.
Yeah.
So I sent a thing earlier. I follow this guy. I can't remember his name. Alan Peters, I think. He's like a graphic designer.
He's fantastic.
I love him. I think he's I wanted to buy his book, actually. I think I asked for it for a birthday or something. I haven't got it yet, actually. But he's just like this graphic designer. And for his social media, like he has a job where he does it, but for fun on socials, he just like takes very popular logos and just redoes them. Redoes them? No,
reworks them?
Reworks them?
Updates them? I love that you love him. I love that you love this guy. Like I love like logos too.
Yes, I feel like you would love this content.
I love this content. The fact that you love it, I'm like, I'm surprised that you do. This is like when me and Ed link up about like scores. This is like our score.
This is our okay, good. No, that's good to know. Yeah, it's so he's got a really good video format. It's very like short and to the point. He'll do a little bit of voiceover and then he'll just be like, boom, here it is. And it's like a beat to the music and everything like that. This one is one of his shortest ones I've ever seen. It was for the Switch 2, which is coming out. And I just wanted to shout out, go see his video. Alan Peters is, I'm pretty sure, his name. And I thought he came up with just like a really sleek, brilliant, just like super simple, updated logo for the Switch 2.
What's good about him too is it's not only sleek, but it actually tells a story within that logo.
His big thing is what is the story that I'm telling?
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off because I feel like you were going to talk about it. But
no, that's all I was going to say was the story that he implements in his logos.
And I feel like I there are so few content creators that I watch one video and I follow off that video. That's very rare that happens for me. I would love for it to happen for our podcast. You guys follow us on Threads, okay? But I think I can't remember what the first one was, but whatever video it was, I just like his voiceover wasn't annoying. The logo was super clean and crisp, and it told a story. And the music that he uses for every video, I was just like, "This is the vibe."
He did that Gatorade logo or something like that. He like
that was the one. That was the one. Yeah. But yeah, the Switch 2 super clean. I love it. But what I didn't realize was going to happen is I sent this to the thread earlier, and I was like, "Oh, it's such a clean logo. It's a really cool video. I hope you guys feel the same way about the video that I do."
Right.
And then Luis, you guys, he jumped down my throat. Okay, just absolutely belligerent. Okay, he was just like, "Man, fuck the Switch 2," and I was like, "Whoa, what are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And what it boils down to is apparently the name for this, allegedly, for now,
right,
the device is going to be called the Switch 2.
Right.
And Luis has some qualms. All right,
because there's already he was saying there was promo art of it saying Nintendo Switch 2. I fucking hate that name. Like, it is the laziest name possible. This is not a movie. You know what I mean? It's not Shrek 2. You can't just throw a 2 on a console. Like, this is the laziest thing I've ever heard of. And I hate it. It's like, what came out? Are we even moving forward? Like, at least the Wii had the Wii U.
In the early 2000s, Sony came out with the console right after the PlayStation. What was that called?
Well, PlayStation. Okay, so timeout. That's pretty good. But what I'm trying to I think they said
Nah, you didn't think about that, did you? Ah, you were ready to go. No, hang on, wait a second. I think it's a different world now. Okay, you want something a little different. I thought you came out with some really. So the thing is
you know what they should have called it? The Pro. Well, they already did have the Switch Pro. Well, fuck. This is what I'm saying. Like that.
Can I read it real quick?
Yeah.
So Luis just kind of came in hot, ready to go, being like, "I hate this name, yada yada." I didn't even think about that PlayStation thing till just now. That's how slick I am.
You got
okay,
me. Yeah.
But I was like, name 5 better names right now. You gave me 6. Okay. Yeah. Now this is gonna be fun because clip this. Okay. Let's see what the internet thinks. Luis thought these names were better than the Switch 2. Okay. Nintendo Unity, Nintendo Snap, Nintendo Beyond, Nintendo Horizon, Nintendo Switch Plus, you cheeky bitch. And then Nintendo, how do you say this? Redux?
Redo. Right? Redux?
Redo with it.
Redux?
That's some idiot English person. Yeah, redo.
Yeah.
Redo.
Madame Web. Madame Web's redo.
I know. I love these names. Very fun. Just, man. I just did not expect you to hate on the Switch 2 name as hard as you did.
From a company that has a cool name like the N64, the GameCube, the Wii, the Switch, Switch 2. And it just feels so lazy to me.
Let me give you one. Let me give you one to kind of like to give you something to eat off of too, okay?
Okay.
You know what name I hated in a movie? You know what name I hated? Is the third Dark Knight movie, Dark Knight Rises. Okay. What a shitty thing to do for that trilogy. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight.
Yes, solid.
And The Dark Knight made how much money? Oh, over $1 billion. So what's that third one going to be called?
The Dark Knight Rises. That's
Fuck
what I'm saying.
That's lazy.
It's lazy.
It's lazy. I get it.
That's the thing I don't like about it. It just feels very lazy. I mean, okay, so we're recording this on a Wednesday, and then Thursday they're going to actually reveal the quote-unquote Switch 2. So we could be very wrong. Like, they could come out with a different name, maybe. Who knows?
I feel like it's a placeholder. Like, how many times does a new console come out and you see the leaked picture of it, and it ends up looking nothing like that at the end, too?
Man, I'm going to sound like an idiot if it's a completely different name.
But we're going to get engagement. We're going to get 7 views. Okay?
Listen, even Nintendo Switch Plus has something at least, like, it's even that's lazy, but I think it's less lazy than throwing a fucking 2 at the end of it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, like PlayStation 2 and 3, okay, you got me. But I feel like they set the standard for it. Like, they were like, hey, this is who we are. You know?
But it's like, then you're just copying them, you know? It's like, hey, you're not trying to be PlayStation, you're Nintendo.
Exactly. You're Nintendo.
Like the Nintendo they could also go like play off. Oh, another lazy video game name. Okay, it was the Xbox 360. Okay, that's
Ooh.
fun.
Yeah.
Then it was the Xbox One. Is that right?
Yeah, confusing.
Okay. All right. We're having a little fun with it. Going a little back. That's okay. Whatever. We're starting a new
I
era.
know, we did 360. I guess
And
we're
then
back
it's
to
gonna-
one.
One is fine. Okay. And then it was the Xbox X, One X or XS.
Xbox
like-
Series X is what it's
Oh,
called.
the series, the word series. That's right. And it was just like, whoa. Microsoft, like you were doing too much. Okay. That's let's streamline it. That would be my argument for changing Nintendo Switch 2 too much too. Is like, okay, well, what's the third one going to be called? Are they going
Right.
to, is if they could change the second name and then is the third one going to be, it gets a little.
Oh, well, you know what? And for PlayStation, works for PlayStation is that it has a shorthand. What are you playing on? I'm playing on the PS5.
PS5.
It's like
PS4.
A24. I'm about to see an A24 movie.
Yeah, that's
I'm about to play on the PS5. Like it's got a nice little
you
ring
don't
to it.
say I'm playing on the XBO. You know,
No,
like,
no.
you don't say that shit. You don't say that shit.
Yeah, I'm
So
about
they
to
had
hop
to
on my
throw in some.
HBO.
No, they had to throw in some words to like. give
Yeah,
it some,
I'm about to
like,
hop on
gravitas.
the NS2. Well, that's kind of dope.
Nah, hang on. That's not
That's kind of
crispy. That was good. That was good. That's what it should be called.
Yeah, okay, name it the NS2. Now I'm playing. Now I'm ready to buy that thing.
Yo, actually, that thing would fly off the shelves. Switch as a name is going to do it already, which is why there's Switch 2, right?
Yeah, right.
They're banking off the name. But man, that NES2, like if they just reframed it as that,
yeah,
dude, that shit would sell. You would
It'd be
get
a clean ass logo too. Pop, pop, pop.
The scalpers would have that shit in their fucking grasp for 5 years.
Yeah, they would.
You wouldn't get an
could play it.
NES2. My God, that would be a good
NS2.
one.
I think I should NS2. Nintendo Switch 2.
So you're giving a play off of the NES, right? And then it's like NS
Whatever the NS. So
that's what you're saying, right? Like now
are you adding the E there? Or I'm just doing
wasn't the E the original
Nintendo Entertainment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck it. All right.
But anyway,
we were vibing right there till the end. And then I just think what's going to happen is going to happen, you know? Say la vie. Say Louis, you know?
Say Louis. We'll fucking see. I guess let's talk about this now too. So, TikTok is like their time is almost running out, right? Apparently, allegedly.
I know. We'll see.
Okay, so this is what I've been seeing on Threads. I don't know if you've been seeing this on your algorithm either, but there are people talking about like, all right, well, time to go on these alternative places.
Yep.
I'm going to go to Lemonade. I'm going to go to Red Note.
Yeah.
And these are other like Chinese-based apps. And I'm not saying that to like have a position. I'm just saying that that's a thing. And like people are learning Chinese on Duolingo more to access these apps. And so I'm just like, what's going on here? Why no one really wants to fuck with Reels at all? They're like, no,
we will not be doing that.
And they're on Threads talking about not being on Reels. And I think it's crazy how everyone's like, well, I better go on Red Note or Lemonade. Have you been seeing this on your algorithm?
I haven't seen Lemonade, but I have seen Red Note, and I've seen people being like, "No, babe, this isn't it. I'm not doing this." You know. I've also seen the people being like, "So and so should buy TikTok so that way we can keep it."
Who did they say was going to buy TikTok? It was somebody today. Was it Mr. Beast?
Today the joke was Mr. Beast, and he was like, "And here I am with my lawyer," and it's like they're both dressed in these like real cheap suits. The lawyer he points to is like 22 years old.
Is it like a thumbnail where he's like,
basically,
or whatever. Yeah.
Fucking basically. And it's just watching that video, I was like, no, they're just like making content right now. But people were like, oh, Mr. Beast wants to buy TikTok and he's being serious. And I'm like, oh my God, the media literacy is so low in our country.
Yeah, it's really.
But I am already so like barely on TikTok. I do it for our content a little bit. I tried to be a little more into it, and then Threads kind of took over. So now I'm just kind of paying attention to Threads, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've been talking about banning TikTok since before Biden was in office, right? So,
but it seems like more. I keep seeing serious things now. It's like we're gonna, if they don't do anything about it, it's gonna be like even if you have the app, it won't work.
Yeah, and you're like, and it's gonna send you to a site that explains why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Can I pivot off of this just to kind of pair it together? And I just wanted to express my thought on this. that I do not access this site in my day-to-day life. But you've heard about all these like southern, like Republican-run states that are like blocking Pornhub, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I
Yeah.
just want to say, like, where are our priorities as a country? Like, you know, let the people watch some porn. Let the people fucking scroll TikTok. Like, and what if I could ask you now, do you know why they want to ban TikTok? Do you remember?
No, I don't know
Do
why.
you just remember the phrase ban TikTok, right?
Yeah.
I want to say all the way back when it was because it was a Chinese company. That was the main talking point. Was it was a spyware program. It was in all of Americans' hands, and it was taking all of our data, and our national security is at risk.
They interrogated the guy. They were like, you know, are you doing this? Like, no, we're not. Do you understand how technology works or something like that?
Basically. Yeah. And so now it's just become like, it's getting a little too heavy for our podcast, but it's basically like some people don't have a platform to really do anything with, and they just go for like these really hot button phrases, and ban TikTok is the one now. And it seems kind of like, okay, you know, that's like a social media that
we could get onto another direction of this podcast.
I'm trying to be careful. I will say this. I did see a video where this guy was in his car, like his whole social media is him doing like Uber Eats or DoorDash orders. And that's like his social media content. And he was just like on his camera sobbing that they were going to ban TikTok. And a part of me, cause I'm an empathetic person, but I'm also kind of like, get your shit together. Okay. And so halfway through the video, I just blocked him. I was like, I don't feel bad.
The complete opposite of what he wanted.
Sorry, like, I don't feel that bad. Like, he was like, what am I going to do to like pay my rent? And I'm like, I fucking have a job. So that's what I do to pay my rent. Would it be nice if our podcast was like the thing that paid our bills? Absolutely. Yeah. And I will ride that wave if we get there. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I will turncoat so fast. Okay. But in the moment, I was just like, I don't know, man. Like, and he was like, I make $1,000 a week. And I was like, I don't know, like a pretty low skill job can get that, depending on what you're trying to do. I mean,
you could like do Ubers or like DoorDash or something.
Well, that's what he was doing. He was already doing it. But he's doing DoorDash, but he's also like making a social media content out of it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. That was like his whole bit. And so I was just kind of like, okay, like he was like, I'm in college and I work full time and I have to pay bills. And I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of like the experience. Like, you're growing up, you're going to be okay.
I think it's so funny how people are just like, but we have reels, and they're like, well, no, we don't want that.
No, people don't want that. That was funny because another reason I brought that video up is because he talked about how compared to what he makes on TikTok, compared to what he makes on reels, it was like, I made $1,000 a week doing TikTok, and I made like $122 in 2 months on Instagram reels. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. I get that. If like you're really trying to grind and make the socials work, then you know, you don't want to just.
Well, the real move is like once you get enough views, is you get sponsors. That's where you get the money. You know,
and you guys remember to like and subscribe to our socials and our YouTube.
I'm proud of us. We're you know, getting 200s. We're like in the 200 club in all of our social medias, except for Threads, which we're popping.
We're working on it. We're getting engagement on Threads. We're doing it.
I posted that video of this guy. He did the CGI thing. He put the Wolverine mask on Hugh Jackman. I saw that one late last night, and I was like, I'm going to post this because people do that, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to credit the shit out of him so that people know.
Now you see what, Luis? That's one of the things I want to give you credit for, because so many bullshit accounts just retweet, right? They repost whatever the content is. And then there's people in the comments that are like, you know, this was at so-and-so. And then they kind of begrudgingly later will like tag them in the caption, you know,
like deep down below, you know, you got to open up the more.
And it's like, nah, you knew what you were doing. You posted this video that someone else worked hard on for your own clicks and views. And so I appreciate Luis being like, no, this is all credit to the dude who did this.
And I even looked him up too. Like, I saw, like, are you on Reels? Are you on Threads? Are you on Insta? Like, I want to tag you. And he wasn't. So I had to make it very, and I was going to post it on YouTube Shorts. But then I was like, well, I did pull this from YouTube. So I like retweeted or reposted a community thread or something like that on YouTube. Because that was the one place I was like, this is your space. I don't want to come in here and start, you know, stomping around. But anyway, that post got us some followers, and then we posted our own like podcast clip out, and then it got like 3 hearts, and then underneath it is a video that has like 14,000 hearts. And then people see that one, they're like, "Oh, who are these bozos?"
Hey, we're trying though. We're trying.
We're trying. You can't blame us.
Let me get that new background for this next episode.
Yeah.
Okay, when I get that new background, guys, we're gonna be locked in.
You're like,
right?
damn, is that a new background? I'm gonna follow him. Follow
upside down blue trees. Okay, we're gonna be good to go. This is from my poor days. Okay, I got a little bit of money now.
You've glowed up from the headphone mic.
Yeah.
To the real mic.
This is a Shure mic. You know what I mean?
That's legit. That's a real mic.
We're sucking around cocks now.
You know what my mic is? My mic is a Marintaz. What the hell is that? What the hell is a Marintaz? But you know what it is? It was $49.99 on Amazon.
I know. This was a birthday gift. I got it from you last year.
No, and you sound very clean. I sound clean. We were talking about this earlier, and fuck it. I sound clean because I'm using this thing called voice mod filter, and that's why it's like my voice sounds so full.
Guys, today's episode is sponsored by
Voice Mod. Let's see. With Voice Mod, you can be anything you want.
You could be Venom. If you want to be Venom, you can.
You could be a little baby if you want to be a baby.
You could be a completely different sex if you want.
Ew. Not that that's you, but
I know.
You doing it was ew. I didn't like that.
Okay.
You could be Doctor Doom. Okay, we're done with this.
So Voice Mod is where you're getting this kind of cleaner version of it because I have to compete with Miguel's mic, which is our actual real professional mic.
Yeah, I could still get better. We're going to keep getting better. That's what's happening with this. I said by 1 or 2 more birthdays, and this podcast is going to be through the roof. You know?
People are going to be following us like crazy. Okay, Ed, we're still waiting on Ed to come back because we have our feature discussion where we're going to do our top 5 movies we're excited for in 2025. We have one more segment before we potentially hit that. He's still watching The Brutalist.
Surely by now he's home, right?
Yeah.
It's text him. I'm just going to text him. While I do that,
I'm going to set up this next segment here. Our next segment here is trailer talk. One of the big trailers that I wanted to talk about is Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again. That they just dropped an official trailer for that. Before, we kind of got snippets here and there when they were promoting Marvel in general. But now the people were complaining, where's that trailer? And so now they've released the trailer. Miguel,
hang on, but before we get into that, I just want to say I did think it was kind of wild that LA is dealing with all these fires right now, and all of these things are getting delayed, and the internet has the fucking audacity to be like, "Where's my content?" Like,
I know.
I don't know if you know this, but like shit's going on right now in the world.
They stopped. So we didn't talk about this in the podcast, but yeah, they stopped production on a lot of TV shows and movies because of the fires. So everyone's kind of like, hey, it's a really weird position because it's like we need to stop to kind of give space to the situation.
Yeah.
But also people's livelihood depends on these jobs.
Depends on, yeah.
So it's this kind of like balance of the two. But you're right.
But I'm fine with like taking your time and releasing it when you need to. But it's just like people being like, give me. You know, it's like, okay, just give it a breathe. You know, it'll be okay. Okay. But Daredevil,
you've never seen the Netflix Daredevil at all,
no,
right?
I haven't, but I've heard only good things. Okay?
Yeah, and that's okay because this'll. What did you think of the trailer? How about that?
Great segue. I loved it. I thought it looked really good. Of course, I've seen like clips of the original show. I understand like the vibe that they're going for it. Just super gritty, dark.
Yeah,
we love that. We need it. Okay, Marvel needs that kind of content. I did love the that the trailer was them kind of sitting down at that table together. Someone on Threads who probably copied it from Twitter, who probably copied it from some other account, was like, it was a screenshot of them sitting at that table together, just facing each other with like the window behind them, you know, that kind of wide shot of them. And they were like, it's giving Heat. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, actually it does. You know, that is like such a, and because I didn't watch the content before it, I only know like just a little bit of what happens. Like the fact that they were both talking to each other, I couldn't tell right away. Like, does he know he's Daredevil? Mm-hmm. Does he know that like I am the Kingpin and you, of course, you know that all of my whatevers. But then some of the things they said to each other, I was like, oh, okay, they seem like they're aware of each other. And same with when we see the Punisher later too.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen a clip before where like in a courtroom or something, the way he says his name, it like kind of cues him in. Like he's like, "Oh, you know me from something else," you know. So I was picking up on some of the cues. The fighting looks really good. One of the fight scenes pre this was in Echo when Daredevil shows up in that TV show Echo, and I thought that scene was. I know some people kind of critiqued some of the choreography, but I thought it was just like, yeah, that's Marvel being like, hey, we're turning the gears again, like we're getting back into that mode, and that seems exactly what Daredevil's doing. So it looked fun. It looked kind of like, yeah, like it's going to be a little heavy.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the hallway fight scene on Daredevil, I would highly recommend that you watch that at least. Like that is something that people talk about all the time.
Yeah.
It's in Daredevil season 1. I'll see if I can find the link, but it's like that type of like fight choreography is what people wanted to see. And it seems like as syrupy and weird some of these Disney shows can be, it seems like, oh wow, they're actually doing from the trailer a really good job of kind of capturing that Netflix magic and bringing it to the forefront. And
which is kind of wild that Netflix was the one putting out this content. Like Marvel was like, what is our home? Like, how can we get on streaming? Obviously Netflix is, you said it last week, you know, one of the biggest streaming service ever. But then like Disney turned around and was like, no, we're doing our own streaming service. And it's just like that jump back and forth, and to be able to keep that quality, I know for fans that was really important.
Yeah, and I think that it's also tough because it's you know, they're going to be using a different production company with a different budget, and they're going to be thinking differently, and they're going to be shooting it differently. And so some people prioritize different things, and that's why sometimes it looks different. And I'm just happy. I mean, from me watching it, I'm very excited I'm so excited to watch this show that in my mind, I'm like, maybe I should go back and rewatch all those Daredevil seasons just to like get ready for the March 4th release date. The great thing is they're able to bring back other characters like Karen Page. She's the redhead where she was like walking next to Matt Murdock. There's a whole conversation like, hey, is she coming back? Is she not? People were getting upset. Foggy Nelson, his best friend, was also walking with him. Everybody was like, where are these people? Are they coming? And then they brought them back. And so it really feels like a reunion, and they're capturing the music. The music got me pumped. The fighting got me pumped. The themes got me pumped. It's like, this is good. This is what I want. And so, and obviously the Punisher's here too. So I'm excited for this.
I'm definitely going to give it a go. I think
you're going to watch an episode and just see how that tastes, right?
Yeah, just like get it going. Obviously, Daredevil made that kind of surprise appearance in No Way Home. So it's like, okay, clearly Marvel is bringing him into the fold. Let me see. It's like you were talking earlier about Spider-Man and Hulk. And it's like the last year, all I ever heard was people really want Spider-Man and Daredevil, you know? Yeah. And I feel like those two,
they want the street.
Yes. Yes. Like those pair together so much more cohesively than Spider-Man and Hulk, you know?
Yeah.
And I understand like the studio being like, well, you were saying earlier, like, this makes money. And like, yeah, that does make money. But I think also like giving people, and I don't mean to like bend to the will of the internet, but like kind of giving the people what they want.
It's like the Sonic thing. Remember when we said, hey, you better
Sonic
change
is ugly. He doesn't look good.
They spent $5 million to fix it. And now look at him. He's on Sonic 4.
I just read that the whole trilogy, Sonic 3, has made over $1 billion in total, you know?
Yeah.
Sonic, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's like sometimes it does kind of pay to listen to the audience, because the audience is who's going to pay to see the movie.
That's why I mean, this is what gets me a little worried about this series, is that they shot a lot of it and then they're like, nope, we got to reshoot half of this thing.
What a story. Yeah, and this is like kind of the interesting thing, because you could parallel it to Captain America Brave New World, and how many times they reshot that movie, and that has got people kind of cool on that project, you know? But where it's like Daredevil was coming in hot already, like people wanted it to be a certain thing, and it wasn't. And some studio exec finally sat down and said, this is not going to work. We need to give them what they want, you know, to a degree. And
it was crazy because this was going to be an 18-episode series when it was first announced.
Fuck me. Fuck me. Holy shit, that's way too much.
And I think somebody didn't know the assignment. They're like, oh, we'll make this a court crime drama where, like, you know, every day is like a different fa. And it's like, no, now it's going to be 9 episodes, and they're just going to be
get to the nitty gritty, get to the meat and potatoes. You know,
Yeah.
like let's see what it is. And I read that it's based on some arc where in the comics Daredevil kills a person, and he has to grapple with like what that means for him.
Yeah.
And then someone pointed out and said that leads into a whole nother really great arc for Daredevil after that. So it's like if that's the direction they're taking the character in, it could be a really interesting a position for him, especially to bring him into like the forefront of off of the streaming service and into the movies. Like give him a character. Kind of, I feel the same way about Moon Knight. Like I want Moon Knight to be a better character. I want him to be more well liked. You know,
And I feel like Moon Knight in a Daredevil setting would be the best, you know.
You feel me?
Like now that we got all the magic-y stuff out of the way, like can we just like tone it down a little bit and have him just fight in the streets, you know?
Yes. Yeah, like you know what? Like criminals suck. Like bad guys suck. And like let's see bad guys get the shit beat out of them. And I'm not saying like promoting violence, I guess I am.
Right.
But I'm just like let's just have some catharsis, you know?
Yes.
Like people are kind of in this weird headspace right now and this like funky life we're going through, and sometimes we just need to kind of like let these characters be who they are.
Right.
You know?
We can live vicariously through them.
Yes. Yeah. You know, like we don't have to keep going, but it just I'm into the idea of this show. I do want to see it. I do like Daredevil. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw out a hot take real quick.
Yeah.
I liked that Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. Okay.
Well, okay. Did you notice in the last part of that trailer when he's fighting and then he's using a stick?
Shoots that thing? Is that what you're about to say?
Aren't you getting a little like Ben Affleck Daredevil vibes from that? Because I was getting that the way that he was whipping and swinging that thing.
Dude, pause.
Right. Oh, okay, sorry. Did you know they banned? You know what they banned in the South? Okay, keep going.
I same when he like kind of you could hear it too. It like that hydraulic like kicks of it like shooting out, and it's like that's dope. That's what I want to see. And I think mainly because I saw Daredevil when I was like 13 years old, and like my dad took me to go see it, and it was like
Did you see it on Valentine's Day? Oh baby,
no,
that's when they came out.
My dad didn't take me to go see. No, I think it was later in the run. But yeah, Ed, we're talking about Daredevil right now. How you doing, bud?
Good. I'm sorry. I'm here.
Ooh, Ed, you got to fix that mic, baby.
Oh, shit.
We'll come back to you.
We'll come back to you in a second. So yeah, Daredevil, we're getting excited for that. Ed just jumped in. Listeners who are listening, Ed's back. He's come back from the Brutalist. He went there 9:30 in the morning. He had breakfast. He saw the first half, and there was an intermission. He saw the second half, and now he's back. He's disappeared on the YouTube feed, but that's okay. He's coming back. He's working on the microphone, and it's a good thing we call it out right now before, we go through the whole episode.
That's right.
Daredevil. Also, another thing about Daredevil, I'll say it as we kind of stretch time here. There's a thing called Devil's Reign. It was an arc, and he mentions the word rain in here in the trailers, like there's some rain. And it's when he becomes the mayor of New York, and that's kind of we're also seeing that storyline where he's like, he's like, hey, how's becoming mayor? And he's like, oh, tough, something like that.
There was a really good shot. Speaking of Fisk, there's a really good shot where him and his wife or whoever his love interest is, they cling the champagne glass, and like right behind them is that like spatter of blood. And if I remember correctly, he meets her in like an art gallery. Is that same girl?
So that's a great question. I don't know, because I think it's Jessica in the Netflix series. I don't know if it's the same person here. Maybe if it is, then yes.
That's how I read it, just from like the visual imagery.
Yeah,
that's what I was picking up on in that trailer. I was like, because it looks like art on the wall, but it's blood.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay, we'll see how it's going.
Ed, how you doing?
Enough Daredevil talk.
I'm good. How's my voice?
Ooh, you back?
Great.
Okay, good.
And also my hair devil over there. Look at you, handsome devil.
You're letting the hair grow back out.
Did you lose another 5 pounds since the last time we saw you?
No, certainly not. I've, if anything, just been gorging myself, and
the viewers will decide. Jawline, we see you.
It's good lighting, good lighting. And I just spent like the last 3.5 hours running my fingers through my hair whilst watching The Brutalist. So
whoa,
vain.
I'm excited to hear your take on the Brutalist later in the podcast. But before we do all that, I think it's time to get into our feature discussion. We're going to do our top 5 most anticipated movies. Did I say that? Did I speak English just now?
Top 5 most anticipated movies. That's what you said.
That we're excited for.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
good.
English. We're good.
Sorry, I just had a stroke. Okay, I had to ask the Englishman to let me know. Okay, so we're only doing a top 5. We talked about doing a top 10, but I said let's make it hard on ourselves.
Well, I feel we've always done a 5 for our anticipated. No, am I crazy?
Well, I think last time it was we did what's it called, a draft. Remember that?
Okay, sure.
Oh, that was fun. That was fun.
I was trying to change it up, but it's okay.
I listen to our podcast. I know. Yeah.
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll just go from 5 to 1, and then we'll do honorable mentions. How about that?
Love it.
Love it.
Okay, well, before we start, I guess any initial thoughts we want to say? Like for me, it was actually I had a hard time thinning it down to 5, and there's a lot more movies I guess I'm excited for this year than I was last year.
Interesting.
Maybe not.
I think for me, my hard part was just I think a lot of these movies are going to be on all of our lists. So I didn't even put them in any sort of order. I just wrote a whole list. And my vibe this week is if I have a movie that I want to say, one of you said it, I'm going to try to go to the next one.
Oh, okay. I like
that. Because there's some movies that I just think for sure we all want to see.
Yeah.
Sure. And I'm going to try to, Ed's all of his movies are from that list you sent, Luis. Like all of his movies are going to be like the Robert Edgar's Nosferatu sequel, whatever those were.
I wish.
Ed called out how from the list it was like they're basically all just sequels.
Sequels.
So many, my God. We're even getting a Now You See Me sequel this year, guys.
No, because who asked for that? That's what I was talking about earlier.
Someone did.
I looked at that. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? These actors have not moved on to better things. Like, come on.
The theme of this episode and the podcast in general, who asked for that? Okay.
That's our slogan. Who asked for this?
Who is listening? Okay.
Okay, we'll do Miguel, Ed, myself. Cool. Miguel, what's your quote unquote number 5 pick?
I'm gonna put it as number 5.
Yeah, you guys keep up the list. I got one right off the bat. This is top 5. I feel really good about this being in the 5 spot because there's other movies I'm excited about. I'm not going to do this. I know you guys know me. I like to overtalk. Okay, my number 5 spot, and this is kind of a surprise for me, is that Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan feature.
Oh, Sinners. Okay?
I want to see Sinners.
Yeah,
dude. That's kind of I'm excited off of one trailer alone. I can't remember what movie I went to go see.
Yeah,
I think it was before Interstellar. I went to go see Interstellar last year, and they played a million trailers.
That's cool.
And one of them was Sinners, and I wrote it down on my notes because I was like, "This looks fun. I like this. This looks good."
The visuals in that trailer,
to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it's a vampire movie.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The
he plays twins.
The trailer itself is so kind of captivating, like the cinematography and everything. It kind of just locks you in, right? And
Ed knows.
I know this is derivative, but kind of it has a Jordan Peele kind of feel to it.
It does. I'm watching it now. It really does look like it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm just saying, the clean imagery, the cinematography kind of, but it's very. I like Michael B. Jordan. I feel
and also Ryan Coogler is a very apt director.
100%. Yeah.
And the fact
that
the
two of them together,
And can I say one quick thing about this movie? Speaking about Michael B. Jordan, is I'm kind of hot and cold on Michael B. Jordan. Sometimes I feel he's just kind of playing a very similar character a lot. But for something about this trailer, it just looked different, and I said, okay. And especially with the task of playing 2 characters, for one actor. It's okay, you're going a different direction than what you normally do. Plus, it looks really good. Yeah. So
I think
they work well together, the director and the actor. So it's okay, I'm into this. I want to see it.
I think they've
number 5.
I think he's earned the right to flex a little bit. He had the not the Creed franchise, and he just directed the most recent one.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't see that one, but yeah,
I didn't see it either. I'm not going to say I just saw the first Creed. I'll be honest, but I liked it. But like, I feel like, yeah, like you were saying, Miguel, this is like an opportunity for him to go to some interesting places with it.
Yeah.
You know, we expect that of all of these stars. Like Robert Pattinson
is-
went through the same process. Like he had to go over a hump. Like, let's see what they can do.
That's so true.
Untethered.
That's so true.
You know, from like a franchise basis. Like, let's see them start exploring these things. Like, I'm here for it.
Yo, I just watched the trailer. It looks awesome.
Looks
it's
good,
shot
right?
with IMAX film cameras. I'm locked in.
IMAX is a new thing, baby. Can I
shoot
just
it with
tell
that,
you?
baby? I don't care what it is. I'm
So
watching.
hard.
Except,
Yeah.
so Sinners. I guess it would have been on my list, but that's a great pick. And look, I learned something today.
There you go, number 5.
Ed.
My number 5. Okay. This is it's a sequel, I guess you could say. I'm so ashamed to say. No, this is like there's so much buzz talking about like Christopher Nolan's casting right now. He always has a massive cast list. He now has a massive cast list. Fucking Ryan Johnson.
I knew it.
Wake Up Dead Man, a quote unquote Knives Out mystery. A Benoit Blanc mystery would be more accurate.
Yeah, but that's not going to, unfortunately.
Tell it to
it's not gonna
Netflix, Miguel.
sell.
Tell it to Netflix.
I'm telling you because of that. I'm agreeing
Miguel.
with you.
Yeah.
You fuck. Run your hair through your fingers through your hair again. So he tried to cut me deep. I said, I'll cut deeper, bitch. Let's go.
Yeah, like you got Daniel Craig, who's just like having a moment in his career right now. Kaylee Spaney, Glenn Close, Jeremy Renner, Josh Brolin, Andrew Scott, Tom Hayden Church, Mila Kunis, Kerry Washington, and Josh O'Connor.
I knew it.
Oh, Josh O'Connor.
But hey,
Ed,
look, I thoroughly expect like half of this cast to be kind of short shifted. You know,
oh, don't worry.
It's just like
You'll be long shafted before you know it. It's okay.
But in the past, the talent has been throughout all the movie. Throughout the
it's
whole
been
movie.
good. I'm not saying, but like there are always these roles. They might be like big actors, but short, small roles. You know,
Yeah.
like especially in Glass Onion, which I enjoyed, but I didn't like it as as much as the first one. But I'm always here for a Ryan Johnson mystery, and this one feels like it's going in a darker direction. But anyway, that's a great cast to get excited for. Seeing what Ryan Johnson comes up with this time, regardless of Josh O'Connor, Miguel, I think Glenn Close. I mean, come on. Jeremy Renner, like, is maybe his first big movie since the accident.
Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't realize. Okay, yeah. You're right.
Okay, sorry.
I was going to say, though, Josh O'Connor, this is like a really great moment for you, Ed, because you want him to be James Bond.
And he's working with ... James Bond. Yeah.
Oh.
What are you going to say?
I was going to go in a different direction, but you're right. That's the more apt. Yeah, you're right.
What were you
But
gonna say?
he's a priest in this movie, right? He's wearing that black and white. It looks like a tuxedo.
Oh,
this is
okay,
as close to like a visual James Bond that you're going to get for him. So enjoy it.
I didn't even know he was playing a priest. So you're
Bitch, you didn't see those behind the scene photos?
no,
Okay.
No,
I have
haven't seen
not.
it either.
Absolutely
You
not.
flew in with those big ass ears. All right, we knew.
Us. You son of a bitch. You know what? Daniel Craig has sticky out ears too. So,
Yeah, but he pulls it off. Okay.
some reason it
Josh
works.
O'Connor pulls it off too. Guys, you're being so mean. Anyway, wake up, dead man. That's my number 5 spot. I'm ready for this next
We joke.
journey. Yeah, we have a good time. I love Ryan Johnson. I think he, especially when he's doing these mysteries, like I love his poker face on Peacock. That was a fun.
I wish Natasha
yeah.
Lyonne was in this movie.
I'm
though.
surprised. You know, maybe she'll have a cameo or something. Maybe
Maybe.
they're like best friends or something.
Maybe she'll
'Cause they
be
did
like
the whole
twist of
series
the whole
together,
movie.
so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Luis,
My
it's-
number 5 is going to be. I'm just going to say it's Mickey 17.
love it.
Oh,
Love
okay.
it.
Yeah, it's coming out. It's the Bong Joon-ho movie. Obviously, he won many Oscars for his last movie, Parasite, and it's about this guy who is what they make like different iterations of his body,
They make a copy of his body, and every
clones.
time he
Okay.
dies, they reprint him,
There
basically.
you go. You said it way better than I would have.
I just watched the trailer at The Brutalist, which I saw in IMAX, and please sponsor our podcast.
IMAX.
All of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've seen it, around. Did I say it stars Robert Pattinson? Okay.
It does.
Yeah, and then he's Mickey 17, and then he's like, oh, let's kill him, and then he's like, no, I don't want to die, but then they make a Mickey 18, and they're like, uh-oh, you're me and I'm you. Hijinks.
You know what? Shout out to both Luis and me. Our top fives involve actors playing the same character, two different characters.
Whoa, look at us.
Hey.
Look at us.
Look at us.
It won't be the last.
I tell you what.
Okay, number 4, Miguel.
Okay, like I said, I'm going off vibes. I don't have any of these in order, but this is I think, an appropriate number 4 for me, Miguel. Okay, you guys, I am actually looking forward to this movie, even though the last 2 in the franchise have just been absolute dog shit movies. The thing that sells it is, number 1, the first movie of the original trilogy was actually fun and decent, but also this one is a whole rebirth. Okay, some might say.
Oh.
My number 4 is Jurassic World Rebirth. Okay.
Jurassic World.
I did not love 2 and 3 of that trilogy.
I don't think anybody did.
No one did. But I did think that first one was fun. I've said it before a million times, but I saw that first one in theaters like 5 times. Guys, I don't ever go to the theater that many times for one movie. So this is a chance to kind of like capture that fun of the overall franchise with a new cast. It's got Jonathan Bailey. You guys know him from Wicked, obviously. Scarlett Johansson, the 2 leads. Mahershala Ali is in it. It's like, okay, anyone but Chris Pratt, let me go see this movie.
And Gareth Edwards directing.
Yeah.
Come on, you guys.
That's the one thing I'm clinging to with this movie. I've got to say, it's a fine cast, but different vibes in the 90s. I know Laura Dern was a considerably big actress. Jeff Goldblum too at that point, but I don't know. I think the Chris Pratt level is just let's have a bunch of hot people in this universe kind of thing.
Yeah, and I do think Jonathan Bailey is going to be kind of riding a wave right now because he was just in Wicked. He is a little more of a mainstream. He's becoming more of a mainstream to audience because of that. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Someone was like, he's an archaeologist, but why is he so hot? He's got so many muscles.
Yeah,
and it's no offense, but it's the original guy,
Sam Neill.
Alan, Sam Neill. I was trying to think of his character name. It's he was just like a dude, and he didn't have to be ripped to fight dinosaurs.
It's the problem with modern day
movie making.
They say Tom Hanks would never be a leading man now.
Yeah.
Compared to when he was younger, you bring a young Tom Hanks now and he wouldn't get as many roles.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants the big rippling.
He would be. But yeah.
Gareth Edwards, he also did Godzilla. Yeah, I think he's great with scale. So I'm excited for that. And then Michael Crichton and David Koepp, who did Jurassic Park, the first one, are coming back to write this one as well. So you're getting a super team.
You're getting literally everything you want from this franchise potentially. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think do I think it's going to work? I don't know. Let's see. I haven't seen a trailer yet. Right.
This should have been the sequel, if anything.
Yeah.
Listen, we could do a whole podcast where I want to talk about Jurassic Park for an hour and a half. Okay. That's not this episode. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to this. Number 4, Jurassic World Rebirth.
Nice. Ed.
Number 4. We've talked about it a lot. This is the only superhero movie I have on my list.
Oh, wow.
This is Superman.
Number 4,
Yeah, we talked about that trailer when it came out. We've been talking about it. My overall feeling is I am genuinely excited at the potential of this movie and having a genuinely enjoyable, heartfelt Superman back on the big screen. I just felt like Henry Cavill's was marred from the beginning, and Brandon Routh was Brandon Routh, but Superman is the big one. So there's a lot riding against it for sure. That's why it's number 4 for me. But upon reflection, watching that trailer again and again, and just the overall feeling around the movie, I'm trying to be optimistic, and I'm going to be excited by the time it gets here for sure. Unless they say it's dog shit. And
I can't. Oh my god! 2 weeks before the movie comes out, all the reviewers are going to be like, "This is the worst Superman." Blah 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 blah. And it's like we haven't seen the movie yet, bro. Can you give it like a rest?
Yeah.
And I think that's a totally appropriate response for you. Like, you know what I mean? A top 4, and I say that legitimately. Like,
right.
Superman number 4. I think a lot of people are going to be pushing that movie this next year.
Yeah.
But like, to be cautiously optimistic about that is warranted.
I think that. Like, I mean, have you seen those like most anticipated lists from like IMDb, Box Office Mojo, or whatever? And Superman isn't that high on the list. It's like near like the bottom half. So I think
we will see.
DC
for now,
on top of the whole superhero quote unquote fatigue, if you want, the DC this is like a have to rebound kind of situation where like the last few movies really left a sour taste in people's mouths. Like you've got not to mention Joker Folie à Deux, that just kind of added to that level.
A whole other conversation.
I know it's a whole other conversation, but like, and obviously we kind of warmed to that movie on this podcast, but the general consensus was, people hated it and were like lighting pitchforks, but then you have the whole Justice League scenario, which just did not go down well.
Didn't work.
And you have scrap projects like Batgirl and stuff like that. There's like a bunch of like projects that were starting and then a bunch that got closed down. But this is it. This is like the first plunge into the quote unquote James Gunn universe. And so like this will make or break it. And, I wish the best for him. He definitely seems passionate about this. So I'm hopeful, and right, that's what we need to feel like with Superman. We need to hope.
If you watch that trailer, though, that's what you got. A
little bit of hope. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you know what this symbol means?
No. Remember that with the shitty CGI mustache? He touches the S, and it's like, could you not do that? It don't look good.
They banned that in the South. All right, no, you can't do that.
Pornhub.com/. What does S stand for?
S stand for.
Okay, my number 4 is a little scary movie. Scary. This director actually released a movie this year. Caught my attention. Caught other people's attention. He's going to be doing a Stephen King telling. It's The Monkey.
Oh,
it's an upcoming comedy horror film, which is really what got me locked into this too. It looks really fun. It's very different from Long Legs. Long Legs was very serious and beautiful and dramatic, and this one's kind of like, as Ed would say, cheeky. It's comedic. It's got some good gore and horror moments. It's just got this like pop to it, and it's about this evil monkey that if you have it around, it just kills people. And so this family's trying to get rid of it, but they can't. It just keeps coming back and killing. And it's a pretty straightforward premise. But I think the execution of it seems fun. And I liked Long Legs, so I'm excited to see this movie. The Monkey.
The Monkey. That's a good one. Good shout. That trailer is wild, too. It's hilarious and wild. But, yeah. Good shout.
All right. Miguel, what's your number 3?
Okay. I assume that means 3. I'm going to go with, guys, this is for sure, like, I'm excited about it, but I have 2 more movies that I'm even more excited about. This is like top 3 movie for me of the year that I'm looking forward to. Guys, I want to see 28 Years Later. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's go horror to horror. I love that franchise. I thought the second one was actually good. I know in retrospect, maybe not as good as the first one, but they've been talking about making this movie for like more than a decade,
Yeah.
And every time the hint or the rumor would come out, I'd get a little excited. They finally like filmed this bitch, and then we got a trailer. Okay, 28 years later, like I'm looking forward to this. The fact that we talked about it earlier, but this is one of those that they're like, we're doing a movie. It's a sequel 20 years later. And also, bitch, it's a trilogy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that is kind of wild. But Cillian Murphy's supposed to come back. I don't know about this one. Really,
he's not supposed to be. He's not going to be in this one.
All of a sudden, he's not in this one. He's in the next two. I'll be like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
He just won an Oscar for Oppenheimer. So, yeah, let's don't put him in this movie.
Right.
But yeah, no, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I kind of like a zombie movie. My kid the other day, he kind of was like, I want to watch a zombie movie. And I was like, not yet. But we will get there.
Is there a kid-friendly zombie movie?
There's got to be, right?
I'll
There's
talk
one
about it
that
later,
Nicholas
but, like,
Hoult was in, right? Where he was a zombie. It was like a meat cute kind of thing.
Yeah,
I would
was.
not show my kid that movie either, mainly because I think he would be bored. The one that's coming up that has a zombie in it is going to be Minecraft, okay? And that's what my kid is going to want to go see.
Okay.
You guys don't know it. I'll talk about it later. Okay?
I don't know Minecraft, yeah.
No, I know.
You got to at least know the idea of Minecraft. Like, there's no way you've escaped life without knowing what Minecraft is.
I mean, it's like block building, right?
Okay, perfect. Okay.
What color is Minecraft?
What an odd question.
No. What color is it?
Gray?
What?
Gray?
I mean, technically the game, like when you're building the blocks, but you're talking about the logo, right? You're talking about the green.
I'm talking about Minecraft. When you think about Minecraft, what color comes to your mind?
Gray.
Okay, but I'm going to give Ed a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here, because when you're looking at the bricks and you're going like this, it's a little grayish.
It's green.
Thank you, Luis.
Fucks.
I know the
Minecraft
logo is green. I understand
Minecraft
that.
is green, and that's what you know. Okay. No. Yeah. So that was. I feel like we're kind of cool on that. We didn't really enjoy that reaction, but my third one is 28 years. Later.
That trailer really does haunt you. It's like, it's
I know
intense.
why that didn't sell. I know why that didn't sell on this podcast.
Why?
We don't love Aaron Taylor Johnson on this podcast.
No.
Okay.
He's not even a factor. Honestly, the trailer itself works for itself.
Ray Fiennes
looking crazy as hell.
I love it.
And then Jodie Comer, I like.
She's in this. I forgot about that.
Guys,
I love her. Okay,
number 3.
Add your number 3.
All right, my number 3. It's another sequel, alas. But no, it could be the final sequel. It could be the final reckoning. For Mission Impossible.
Wow.
I'm surprised that's a surprise, I guess. Or
no, it's not.
Okay. So obviously we had Dead Reckoning 2 years ago, overshadowed by the Barbenheimer hysteria.
So sorry, Ed.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't. It like coming out of Fallout. It's hard to touch that level of perfection, and but Dead Reckoning, like I enjoy it. Like I've seen it a few times now. I enjoy it. It has its issues, and I think. But I genuinely am fascinated with the process of how they make these movies since Chris McQuarrie took over, and I've listened to like hours and hours of content of him discussing it in great detail, and it's just kind of crazy. So looking forward to see what they come up with. I will say, like, one of the biggest factors that bothered me in Dead Reckoning Part 1 was that they perhaps gave away too much in the trailer. And they usually just say, oh, I don't care about that. But, like, if you're kind of taking away the magic and the surprise of it. Like some of the biggest stunts, I mean, we've seen, like, a handful already. So I just want, the element of surprise to factor in a bit more on this one. And I'm looking forward to the conclusion. I feel like they have just made some like incredibly well-made action films, regardless of how you rank this in the overall franchise or any other action movie. Dead Reckoning is a solid movie, and I just look forward to see how they end it.
Can I say just real quick? I didn't put this on my list because I knew Ed was going to. Okay, that was my whole vibe. It's like, I'm not going to pick a movie that I know. Whatever. And we all saw that trailer from the last movie where and the lead up to it, where he like does the whole motorcycle off the cliff and he does the parachute thing.
Yeah, and that's the bit I'm talking about specifically.
It was a little. We saw that in the marketing. You know what I mean? But I will tell you this: this trailer for this movie kind of hooked me for it. I thought it was a really solid trailer. And I do want to see this movie. It is very anticipated for me. And it is making me kind of want to go back and actually finally watch all the Mission Impossible movies. This trailer,
we could have a Mission Impossible episode.
I think we could. This trailer was really good. And I get that it's like a wrap up of the whole story, and I can tell that they're doing like beats from certain moments.
Yeah.
But it just looked. I like that they introduced a little bit more color into the trailer, especially with like
the pops,
the
right?
Planes, yeah. And the submarine going down. The submarine made me feel like one of my favorite shots in an earlier Mission Impossible trailer is when the bad guy, the Irish bad guy or whatever with the beard, he's like in the truck or whatever, and they go underwater, and he has to like catch his breath as the water.
That's Fallout.
That's a really solid shot in that trailer.
Yeah,
and I was just kind of getting those vibes in this one too.
It's a great moment in that movie, Miguel.
So it is making me want to, and even though it's a little like kind of ham-fisted and dramatic, but when he's like, "I need you to trust me."
Oh, they all are. They are all like, so ridiculous.
The vibe. I like Fast and Furious. Like I'm like, no, I'm into it. Let me watch this movie.
I mean, these movies are called Mission Impossible, but obviously they're possible.
Right. Obviously, they get it done. So it's
can I get something off my chest real quick?
Do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
You don't like the trailer?
Can I just say that last movie for me is probably one of the worst Mission Impossibles for me. It would be on my bottom of the list because I think for me it just sucked the fun out of Mission Impossible so much that when I saw this trailer, I was like, well, I didn't like the last one, so I don't know if I'm gonna like this one because I don't like the whole setup of the first one.
Why don't we go ahead and wrap up this episode? I'll let you guys talk.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with that. Like Fallout, Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol, pop, pop, pop. And then it would be like 1, 3, 2, and then this one. I just thought it started off slow. Okay, I don't want to get into this, but I'm just saying, like,
this is why we need a Mission Impossible episode.
We need a Mission Impossible episode to talk about it. I wish if this wasn't connected to the last movie and this is its own movie, maybe that would excited. Be like, I'm hooked.
I do think he was
spoiled it.
Yeah, and here it's kind of like one of those things, like with James Bond. Like, granted, Mission Impossible has had some running threads, and obviously it's always been Tom Cruise. But like, I do feel like the part one of it all, kind of hurt it. Whereas like Fallout works so much better because it was just like a singular mission.
They were smart to change the title, but that should have been on the forefront. The forefront, though, was COVID, and that was the problem. They thought they were doing something, and that kind of shifted things. I would say this. If we're going to do a Mission Impossible episode, we should do an episode beforehand where we only talk about Mission Impossible trailers, okay? Like, we should do...
There's the one trailer. It's probably one of my favorite trailers of all time.
We should do a Mission Impossible...
That was my favorite.
A Mission Impossible episode, part 1 trailer, part 2, all the movies. Like,
all right.
Lock it in.
I already know my number 1 for the trailer.
All right.
It's that one.
Okay.
Luis, you're number 3.
My number 3. Okay. My number 3 is a movie we've actually already said. This is a movie that I hope comes to theaters. But I don't know. The distributor's a little bit of a...
Superman. Let's hope.
No, it's not Superman. My number 3 is Wake Up, Dead Man. So another man. It's not Superman, but Wake Up, Dead Man. I have a really fun time with these movies. It's just like you said, a great cast. They're plucky characters, you know. People are trying to solve a mystery, and I like the dialogue. It's just like good popcorn fun, and that's what I'm here for, you know. And really
sometimes
cleverly shot.
Yeah,
you want a gourmet burger. But no, this one's like really cleverly shot. Like I like there is a lot of intent in what he's doing.
Oh yeah,
and he's very precise, but the characters are very like poppy and fun. So,
it's almost a shame.
They're very distinct, which I like.
Yes, that's true. Like both movies were both very different kind of journeys, and I enjoyed that. And everybody on screen also seems to be having a great time, which makes it even more fun. You know what I mean? They're just kind of like chewing the scenery, every one of them. It's almost a shame that it's a Netflix movie. You know what I mean? I feel like it's going to be
then have a wide release.
It's going to be underserved a little bit.
Wasn't he like? Wait, this is the Knives Out movie, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just locking it back in. Didn't Daniel Craig, wasn't he like begging Netflix to be like, just fucking put this in the theaters, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
they haven't like guaranteed anything. They're just like, okay.
But now, for people like me, I want to watch it. I want to watch it on Netflix. You know what I mean? I just want to watch it at home. You know what I mean? But We'll see.
No, but yeah, I don't know
Hopefully
when does that come out? Wake Up Dead Man. Does it? Because last time it came out in Christmas, and that was fun because we got to like cozy up and watch it.
And Knives Out is the first one. Is such a good Thanksgiving movie,
fall movie.
Yeah, 100%. I'm pulling it up now.
Oh, it's a September 10th. That can't be right.
Unless
No, that was it released in International Festival September 10th. It must have been in Christmas.
So it's going to be a late fall release or something.
All right, Miguel, we're getting our top twos now.
I have top two. Okay. I just want us to lock in for a second. One, I just want you guys to hear, because I get to go first in the top two. Just like y'all know me, y'all know where I'm going to go. I feel like maybe y'all know where I'm going to go. Just don't spoil my number one too much, okay?
Okay.
And if you say my number one before we get there, just like read the room and like let me be hyped about it when I get to my number one. Okay,
totally.
That's all I'm saying. Okay, my number two, you guys, unexpectedly, I became a theater nerd this year.
Oh yes, that's right.
My number two, and it almost was number one until I saw what was coming out this year, and I said, "Nah, I know what my number one is."
Yeah, I know what your number one is too.
My number two. Y'all, I'm about to be wicked
for life.
Good. All right. For life. No, I loved Wicked. It came out and it just took me by storm. Had such a good time. I've seen it 2 or 3 times now. And I don't care how you guys feel about the movie. I bawled. I had a great time. I am super looking forward to Wicked for good. Wicked Part 2. And it would have been my number one movie of the year. I'm not going to lie, but there's one that's just like absolutely is going to take.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. There's nothing to say. You know, I've said it already. Yeah. I keep sharing. If you go to my personal Instagram page, like every other day, I'm sharing a Wicked reel, and it's embarrassing. I don't know who I am anymore. Something has changed within me.
No.
But I'm having a good time.
You told me, hey, can you get these musicals? And I did. I went and got them for you.
Oh, baby,
you fucking did, man.
Wow, I love you for that, because we really did like it. Just like we sat down and we were like, let's just watch some musicals this year, my wife and I. And we watched Fiddler on the Roof. It's free on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we were halfway through the Fiddler. I was about to say halfway through the first movie. We're halfway through Fiddler on the Roof. And it is so good. I cannot wait to finish it.
Doc Ock is in that movie, right?
No.
Oh.
He has done it. He has done Fiddler on the Roof.
He probably has played the lead.
Yeah, Fiddler on the Roof was from like the 70s.
Like, it's also really good. It is very well cast. And it's funny you say that, because one of the characters looks like Barbra Streisand, like a young Barbra Streisand, and we had to look it up, and we had to be like, oh, that's not her. You know, if you think about real quick, we talked about Mrs. Doubtfire very briefly earlier with Chris Columbus. Mm-hmm. In Mrs. Doubtfire, they do the whole makeover scene with the gay brothers. Yeah. And they do that scene where they're like, matchmaker, make me a match. I didn't even know that. That was from Fiddler on the Roof.
I didn't know that either.
She looks like Barbra Streisand, and I didn't realize that's the character that sings that song. It's not Barbra Streisand.
Those are two, Mm-hmm.
Maybe she did it in a Broadway show.
He did like a Barbra Streisand, like, don't tell me what to live, just sit
that's
and
what I'm thinking. I'm mixing
but he also did the matchmaker, but she looked like an old mamushka or whatever.
I was having a good time with it, and just because like Wicked really did, not to be whatever, but Wicked really did just kind of like spark that theater joy in me again, and I just was like, okay, if we're gonna do it, like we're trying to do a musical a week, maybe not a week, but like a musical 2 or 3 a month, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to tell anyone this, but I'm gonna get Kristen tickets to go see a musical for her birthday.
Aww.
Like we're
nice.
we're gonna go do it. We're gonna go have a good time. So,
don't overdo it to where in a month's time you're coming as like, guys, I'm burnt out on musicals. No. Like,
hang on to that point. I think I said it last episode. Maybe I didn't, but my general thought is I need like a 2025 dopamine release, you know?
Yeah.
Like I need something to like give me joy again. And like
musicals?
all of my 2024 dopamine like levels are just like they're depleted. Like I don't get the same joy from the things that were making me happy last year. And so this year I'm like looking for something new.
Yeah.
And right now I'm currently in my musical era. And I think because Wicked Part 2 comes out at the end of this year, like, what if I just do musicals this year? You know,
and then that'll be like the climax.
and then
Wicked
I'll
for
wrap that up, and then next year will be something different.
Yeah.
And that'll just be great.
Great.
So I'm going to do musical moments this year. You're going to hear me talk about more musicals.
I love it.
That's my number 2, Wicked for Good. My number 2 most anticipated movie of the year.
Wicked for Good. Okay, Ed, you're number 2.
My number 2, Luis, you already mentioned it. It's Mickey 17. I just saw that trailer again in front of the Brutalist, and it was
again and again.
And man, it's just like it was so unexpectedly funny, and I don't know. It's just like it's a vibe that I'm looking forward to. Like everybody, you got Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette, just kind of hamming it up. And then Robert Pattinson doing this great little 2-piece. I think, I'm hoping it's been moved around a lot, release date wise. So I wonder if there's anything to that. And they're suddenly talking about the budget is reportedly like 115 million on this movie. So
It's pretty high.
That's pretty high.
I think it's high,
but it's a
I
sci-fi.
think it's a sci-fi movie
And a star.
Oscar-winning director.
Yeah.
And then like all of these like 2, 3, 4.
But the thing is that movie going to make 300 million?
Right.
Or 200 million?
You got to think
or
about
even 115 million. You know, like, or will it end up just 50 million?
Exactly.
So who knows?
That's
just tricky.
It again just looks like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know anything about it beyond the trailer, and I don't plan on seeing much more than that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. My next movie is a movie we actually talked about. You talked about a great trailer. This also was a great trailer that hooked me back into it. I keep seeing it, and I keep getting hooked even deeper. Band in the South. This movie is 28 years later.
Aha.
Number 2?
Number 2. Yeah. When you mentioned it, I was like, well, I don't want to
You
get
were
too
so
excited.
cold. Okay. I didn't realize. Okay.
No. I what's it called? Danny Boyle. I mean, he's a fantastic director. I feel like it's been a while since he's been, since he's cooked. And so I just want to see him like really make some good shit right now. And I feel like this one, he's got his eyes on the prize and it's looking good. It's looking clean. I think it's going to be a great story. He's got something prepped. We also got, it's going to be a great story too, because it has, what's his name? Alex Garland. He's going to write it as well. So you got great writer, great director, Ray Fiennes. Like we are ready to rock and roll. And the fact that he shot it on an iPhone, boom, baby. Like it looks clean. The trailer, I'm excited. So
I didn't realize when I said it earlier. I was like, oh, got kind of cold here when I mentioned that. I didn't realize that someone else was going to mention, because I kind of felt like Ed was not going to bring it up at all. And I was like, oh, okay, you guys are locked in. Y'all don't want to see it. That's
I haven't seen the second one. I'm like meh on zombie movies generally. That's not anything.
Fair.
I do like 28 Days Later.
Which I rewatched recently.
This trailer really was like a fucking great trailer.
Even like outside of zombie stuff, it looks just good.
It does look. It looks more like mental fuckery than actual zombie kind of thing. Like it just like looks intense.
The humans are the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like at this stage in the game. But genuinely, like that's like always like a cooler factor to these sort of things. It's like just the human element, which is undeniably shitty. If there was anything holding me back, it was just like that, having not seen the second one or whatever. And then it is that like legacy sequel phase thing that we do seem to be going through. I'm not accusing it of anything, but I'm just saying like it's a combination of all those things where I'm like I'm more excited for other things. Like I don't even know if I'll try. I'll probably get around to seeing this in theaters, but
no, I think this is the year of Ed not going to theaters to see movies. Like this is like you have to be, because of your whole life circumstance right now.
I know
you're very particular about the movies you're going to go see.
I do have to.
And I feel like that's respectable.
Yeah, I if it comes out and everybody's just like, this is fucking amazing, like you don't even have to see the second one. I'm on it.
Ed, okay, well, hang on, just real quick. You don't have to see the second one.
Sure.
You could just skip that.
I'm
one.
a purist. Okay. I'm a purist.
I know.
And I don't hear bad things about the second one, only that it wasn't as good as the first one. And I have seen that cool opening of the second one, but
that's what people are going to tell you. That's all you need to see for the second one. Even though I think the second one is good. We were talking about earlier, about legacy sequels and how that now all of a sudden legacy sequels are now trilogies when they come out.
Yeah.
And it is kind of like they are really banking on this being good.
Oh yeah.
So
the fact that they've already planned out this whole other.
I would have told you this definitely was not going to end up on Ed's list. I was kind of surprised to hear it's on Luis's list. So
no,
Luis likes a good horror.
I like Danny Boyle too a lot. So I'm excited to see him come back in full form. I feel like it's been a minute.
It has been a minute. That's what I was going to say too. Is just is this because he did the Train Spotters sequel?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
To great effect or not, I don't know. What was the last good thing he did? Steve Jobs?
I don't know. He did a TV series too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forget which one it was, but
I forget what it is too.
I know he did it, but he definitely did it. Okay,
he did something. All right,
Miguel, big moment.
I'm so glad you guys did not. And I feel bad because I made a whole thing, but then I ended up stepping on 28 years later. I didn't realize Luis was going to go in that direction. But y'all know what I'm going to say for number one,
I
right?
do. Yes.
Ed, do you know?
I most assuredly
10,000%, you guys. The movie that I'm looking forward to the most this year is James Cameron's Avatar.
Yes.
Okay. Fire and ash, babies. Yeah. We're here for it. I just rewatched Avatar 2 over Christmas. I tried to get my father-in-law because they've got a big projector. I tried to sit down and do that movie with them. It just didn't happen. So I watched it on my phone on the plane ride home. And I was just like, I know. But I was just like, it's still. And then I came home and I finished it on Disney Plus on my TV because I was like, I love this movie. I have to finish it. Avatar 2, guys. I'm sorry, 3. Avatar 3.
Yeah, we're here. We've
done it.
It's insane, and almost it always just undercuts it a little bit. It's just how quickly this one was ready to go.
Yeah.
Compared to, but also they're saying this is going to be the second one was guys, get on board. The kids are about to be a more featured performers of this franchise. This one is going to take a time jump. I'm pretty sure. If it's not this one, it's the next one that's supposed to take a time jump. But it's just I was rewatching the second one, knowing that this next one was coming out, and it's okay, I can kind of see some of the building blocks. I shared some of my theories in the text chat. But I was just looking at some of the characters, and I was like, okay, you're clearly about to be the Jake Sully of the franchise moving forward. The youngest one is about to she's gonna age up as this movie goes. Yeah. And by the fourth and fifth movie, she's gonna be a predominant player. Yeah. It's just okay, they are setting the blocks. Guys, we had such a good time watching Avatar 2 in theaters. Bless you. Bless you. One more. No, okay. I just think Avatar 2 was just kind of blew my mind in the direction it went. I was not expecting to love it as much, and then I became a James Cameron believer.
Yeah.
So for me, Avatar 2, 3. I keep saying Avatar 2. They're all going to be called Avatar 2 from now on in my brain. Okay?
It's the sequel to Way of Water. So
yeah, it feels like that,
right? Avatar 1 is a prequel. It's just it is the proof of concept. So. Here we are. I bought into it, and I don't care if the internet agrees with me or not. I am super ready to go. So,
I mean, the world will probably agree with you. That movie is the number one movie ever, right?
I mean, it keeps going back and forth between that and Avatar. I'm sorry, Avengers.
Endgame.
So yeah. So it's okay, yeah. People love every time they re-release an Avatar movie, they go make another fucking $1 billion. So here we go. My number one anticipated movie of the year: Avatar: Fire and Ash.
All right.
Fire and Ash.
Ed, what could Ed's be?
Oof.
Oh, hang on a second. Let me look at the list. He already said Mission Impossible.
Maybe is it? It's an original. Wait. Go ahead.
No, I kind of want to hear your guesses.
He's it's wicked for good.
I'm a believer.
How about this? I'll ask this. Is it have some scary elements to it?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Luis knows. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've been waiting for this one for years, and you could say the director has too. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Beautiful. 10 out of 10. Love it. Love it. Love it. Absolutely. Most Ed choice number one movie.
I don't
but
have
respectfully.
I don't have Nosferatu this year, but I got Frankenstein. Like, if we're about to have a renaissance of all the classic horror characters, I'm here for it. And Guillermo del Toro has been trying to do this movie in particular, kind of like with Pinocchio, for a long, long time. And it's just one of those stories that perfectly fits for him and his style. Pinocchio was like, I mean, I love that. And that movie came out the same year as The Way of Water. But that, for me, was like one of his best movies since Pan's Labyrinth. And so I hope he is continuing on that, like with these passion projects. And you got Oscar Isaacs as Victor Frankenstein, Jacob Elordi as the monster, Maya Goth is in it, and Christoph Waltz as well.
Ralph Innocent,
from Nosferatu. So I'm getting like my classic horror. I've got one of my favorite directors. I'm looking forward to this one a lot. Obviously.
This is so hard. This is also like what
That's a good choice.
These are a lot of movies, right? Like if I could do a solid top 10, but 5 was just heart wrenching to me.
It is, yeah.
And then at some point, gun to my head, I had to be like, all right, Luis, be real to yourself. What are you excited for? Like,
what are your 5 movies?
What for you are you really going to get up for? You know, you guys know my number one, probably, right?
I have no fucking idea.
Let's all say it at the same time.
Well, I might. I don't think it's. Yeah. All right, we'll go for it. No,
it's like, you know what? I didn't want it to be my number one, but then when I think about it, it's like, well, I guess it is my number one. You know, I'm being hijacked. I'm being handcuffed.
Real
this
quick,
is who I am.
Have we had a trailer for this?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's not okay. All right. I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna know.
It's a basic bitch choice, but my number one pick is going to be probably Superman. Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Not bad.
I was going to say Fantastic Four, but
I'm surprised no one didn't say Fantastic Four. I had it on my list, but I said someone's going to say it. That's my whole goal.
I think this is the interesting thing about Superman is it's not just the movie itself, but the narrative that surrounds the movie.
Yeah,
is interesting to me because, you know, again, this is like, hey, if this doesn't work, then nothing will work. Also, this is the return of Superman. Also, this is James Gunn version of it. You know. And then also the trailer looks really good. And also, you know, we haven't had a good Superman in a while. So just like all of these factors coming together makes me like, okay, now I'm just curious to see what's going to happen. It's a lot more curiosity than maybe anticipation for this one.
Yeah.
But my curiosity is so much that now it's my most anticipated movie. And it helps that the trailer was like really good too.
Yeah.
You know, and
such a solid trailer.
It's going to be an event movie. Trailer.
Yeah, an event movie.
Yeah, 100%.
We've already talked about it, but yeah, I think it's just everything that circles around it, and just if this movie fails, then everything else will probably suffer. But I believe in James Gunn, and I think he can instill some sort of, you know, real human vulnerability and heart into the Superman, where it's not just like, oh, look at this guy fly, bing bang boom. Like I think he actually does have direction, even if like you don't like his particular taste. He is somebody who is working towards a goal and has like a vibe. So the trailer looks, it got me in. So yeah, Superman, listen, I'm excited. I'm interested to see it. Miguel, you brought up Fantastic Four. That was definitely like, I made like a preliminary list of movies that I was like, okay, I'm just going to go through the list and just whatever my heart desires, I'm going to put it on. Fantastic Four was on there. Frankenstein was on there. Predator Badlands was also another one that I was excited for, but I was like, I can't because that movie Prey was so good. And
yes. Yeah. That's on my list. My honorable mentions. Yeah.
The Running Man, Edgar Wright's new movie coming out. I love me an Edgar Wright movie. Avatar was in there, Paddington, you know, but Ed, anybody else? Thunderbolts. I'm excited for Thunderbolts more than Captain America. And Sebastian Stan talks about that, where he's like, we tried to shoot this as real as possible. And you can kind of feel that in the trailer too. So it's just like something I appreciate the intent behind that, and it comes through.
I do think Thunderbolts is going to be the better movie.
Yeah,
That's my
I do
prediction.
too.
So
I think they're cracking down on that budget, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know, but
that's the fun of it. I think like an ensemble where you crack down and people are like Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan. Sebastian Stan has really kind of turned into an actor who's like, no, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up to like perform.
David Harbour,
Florence Pugh is like she's an actress. You know what I mean? Like she's a prestige as well. So
yeah.
And if the budget's tiny, I think that's where some creativity can come in, where it's like, all right,
100%. Yeah, I meant to like more of a sure, an obstacle on some levels, but maybe it gives it more opportunity because God knows Captain America has gone through so many reshoots.
I know.
Yeah, and I saw the trailer for it tonight. It's just like, man, this trailer was so different from the very first trailer. Yeah. Just stylistically, and
I haven't even seen the second one.
Yeah, no, but they've given it this graininess to it now, like a grain filter to make it look like a So
I'm more so just cautiously optimistic on all Marvel MCU projects right now, and so it's like these first couple are I want to see them because I want to see the groundwork that they're laying for whatever is coming for whatever Avengers movie. But if I had to choose, Thunderbolts is kind of my a slightly above more.
Yeah,
sure.
America.
Yeah.
Are we doing honorable mentions? You want to do it just real quick? I'm gonna spit through my list so fast. Okay. Thunderbolts is on the list. We were talking about Frankenstein, horror monster movies. I'm just gonna spit these out. Wolfman. I kind of want to see that movie, but I want to see it at home. I want to see it in theaters maybe, but I could see it at home. But that trailer looks really good.
I almost mentioned it, but it comes out this Friday as we release. So I was just like, well, I'm not going to waste it as the movie comes out.
Also, you guys know how early in the year is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes there's gold, and sometimes it's absolute crap. But Wolfman, because it's the same guy that did Invisible Man, and it's okay, do you guys remember, just half second, Tom Cruise and all them, they were going to do that Universal Monster Universe,
Dark Universal,
and it's this is that in a whole different universe. This is the alternate universe of that, and people really loved Invisible Man. It makes me want to see it. Wolfman looks really good. Luis, you mentioned Predator Badlands. Prey was so good. I do want to see Predator Badlands. Guys, they're making another Anaconda movie, and this one has Paul Rudd and I want to say Jack Black, and it's
actually that's. I don't know if I want to see that now, to be honest.
Guys,
I love Jack Black, but just hearing Jack Black and Paul Rudd in an Anaconda film, now I'm
it's is it funny? Is it scary? Imagine it's scary.
Anaconda wasn't supposed to be funny, but it was it's funny to us. But if they make it funny, then it's well, now it's not funny anymore. It's
on my honorable mentions list. Mission Impossible was definitely on there. Again, that trailer was so good, but I knew not to mention it because I knew Ed was going to say it. And finally, my honorable mention movie. I was making a joke earlier, but only because my kid is so excited to see this movie, and I think as a family we're all going to go see it, even if it's good or bad. Minecraft is maybe my number one honorable mention movie of the year, because he's so excited for it.
He's excited for it, yeah.
And the way he talks about this movie when we watched the trailer, it just gave me so much joy. So I'm even if I like it or don't like it, I'm going to go have a good time. So those are my honorable mentions. Let's wrap this up.
A lot of people talk shit about the Minecraft movie, but if you take all that away and you just talk to a kid, it's
yes,
I like that movie. And it's are you really going to strip that away from a child?
Yeah.
It's
just my son's favorite movie of the year, he would tell you, was Sonic 3. Okay.
Yeah.
And guys, I slept through as much of that movie as I could, but he had a great time. And the fact that he keeps talking about it, I didn't realize there was a post-credit scene about the movie. Spoiler alert, just real quick. I'm sorry, I'm almost done. But Shadow, the Keanu Reeves character, dies in this movie. And my son has been talking about how sad he is that he died and is not coming back. And he's I just wish they were making another Sonic movie so he could come back. What we didn't realize is there's a post-credit scene where it's he didn't die.
Oh, it's that Michael Bay trend that you see online where it's
yes. Hilarious. And I showed my kid that post-credit scene the other day, and I mean, his eyes were so wide. He was just oh my God. And I was yes. So it's the joy that he feels about those movies, whether I do or don't, it's like I'll go see Minecraft because like at the end of the day, like I can't wait to talk to him about it. So
Can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil it.
No.
Sorry.
My daughter went to the theater recently. I sent her off to go see Wicked, and she came back with like some goodies, I guess, that they were just kind of giving out. She came back with a Mufasa bag, and she came back with a Sonic the Hedgehog 3 poster that right off the bat, she was like, I'm sending this to Forrest. So like she's holding it and she wants me to get it wrapped up so we can send it. So coming soon.
Oh my god, dude.
She hasn't even seen it, but she was just like, this is obviously his bag. He would be so happy for that. So don't tell him, it'll be a nice surprise. But
okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. She's dead excited about that.
Wow.
Oh my god. Well, okay, Ed. You're making me all teary-eyed. Those are my honorable mentions. I'll let you guys go.
Okay.
Ed,
I'll be quick. Okay, so Luis, she kind of mentioned at least one of mine. I do want to. The monkey was almost on my list. Keen to see where he goes next with this one. But one that was like so close to coming on my list was what is currently being called the Battle of Backtown Cross, which is the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Oh, right. Okay. With
Leo DiCaprio. The only thing that held me back a little bit was just like, I like Paul Thomas Anderson when he does period pieces. And then when he does contemporary movies, I tend to like them a little less.
Fair.
And I mean, most of his movies are technically period pieces, but like Phantom Thread and There Will Be Blood and The Master are my three favorite of his, and those are like way back. And I know that's like a weird quibble. I guess more of that I haven't seen anything else other than like behind the scenes pictures of like Leo running around like a madman. But regardless, it's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, which instantly has my attention. And then to go along with Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, Maggie Gyllenhaal has got her second feature film coming out called The Bride, which is like a weird rendition of Frankenstein's story set in 1930s with Christian Bale as the monster. And then I'm blank. Jesse
Clemens?
No.
Jesse Buckley.
Thank you. Jesse Buckley as the bride. And purely from concept alone, I'm already curious about this, So and it might be like a kind of under the radar movie, so I want to give it a shout out, so people can keep an eye out for it.
Totally.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, God, so many of these sequels do not. I mean, I am excited for Avatar in a sense, but like, I could take The Way of Water and just be done with that whole franchise at the same time. You know what I mean? I'm not like I'm curious to see where it goes because Way of Water was so captivating and took me to places. Like it was such a beautiful movie. Like I understood James Cameron in that movie. However, like I could take it or leave it.
Do you remember when we watched all those goddamn Planet of the Apes movies from the 70s?
Yeah.
I would just point out that this could be that franchise of
absolutely,
this era.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're going to go places. Like I'm already thinking like it's like water, fire and ash, which I already texted you guys separately about my theory about what that means. But there's like a whole
which I love and I think is accurate.
You read it? Okay, thank you. They're talking about they're going to go to Earth at some point, and that's what made me think about Planet of the Apes. Is like that one movie.
Planet of the Apes is like every movie is going to be different,
different, exactly. And it's like, guys, like this could be that. And I'm talking about the old ones. Like this could be this generation's version of that. James Cameron, I put all my faith in him. So, but I understand what you're saying. I get it.
No, I mean,
if you only watch the second one and you're like, okay, I think I'm done. I think it's fair. It's a great.
If I had to chalk up a list, of like the 10 movies that I for sure will see this year, Avatar would be one of them. You know what I mean?
Aw.
So, like,
Okay.
you got me on board.
I say it like I had something to do with it. I was like, oh, you want to see my movie?
Like, it literally would be one of those things. Like, if this movie came out and for whatever reason it ended up like genuinely just being shit, then I'm just like, okay, I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
I'm done
Yeah,
with
it's
that.
like, I didn't waste my time.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
get it.
But yeah, that's really it. I mean, the other ones you guys kind of mentioned, like 28 Years Later, for sure, I think is like up there. Yeah.
So out of all of us, the one that have, repeat offenders is Wake Up Dead Man,
Yep.
Superman, 28 Years Later, and Mickey 17.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
those
three
are
of those, Luis and I shared on our,
Yes.
yeah, Miguel.
I didn't say Mickey 17. It's not on my list, but I do want to see that movie. I feel bad now, but I do. It does look good.
Can I say I did expect Superman to be higher on your list?
Well, I came into this my whole idea was everyone's going to say these movies. I'm just going to try to not.
I like that you added Sinners because I actually didn't know.
No, that's a good shout,
and that one really like got me hooked.
The trailer hooked me, dude. I watched that trailer. You watched it on silent or whatever. That's
It was great.
insane to me. Yeah, like I watched it in the theaters and I was like, I think I want to see this movie. So,
Luis, don't watch it with sound. Just let it be that.
All right, perfect. I'm sold already.
It's a not a talkie.
They're all talking with squeaky voices. You better get down. All right, so I'm going to propose this for what we're into. How about we just hear what Ed has to say about the Brutalist, and then
wrap it, and
then we save this for another day. Let me get
absolutely.
Can I grab one quick thing real quick?
Let's get a box. Let's put all of these things in the leftovers, and we'll talk about it next week. Maybe next week could just be a what we're into week. Like, let's talk about these
because
things.
this is about 17 different things.
Whoa.
Okay, so what I was just holding up for the audience who was not watching this, I went to go see The Brutalist on IMAX. It was a special presentation, and they gave us this exclusive IMAX poster, which is kind of done on like blueprint paper. It's like construction paper. It's not like typical laminated poster paper. So it's very cool. Filmed in, they're shouting about the VistaVision and the IMAX and all of that.
Right.
So yes.
Before you get into it, can I ask just one quick question?
Yes.
Very quick. On the go.
Yeah.
Ed, you're so good, and maybe Luis too. You're so good, Ed, about like getting promotional materials from the theaters. Like, it doesn't have to be Brutalist. It's like any movie you go see. If they have a promotional like poster or whatever, you take it home with you.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, like, what's the ratio? How much of that do you put up on your wall, and how much of it just like goes into some box somewhere?
These days, absolutely none of it. I do have a box of all of my posters.
You're saving them.
They used to
when
be
we
on
have
my
the
wall.
Punch Drunk Nerd offices,
It'll just be pop.
It's gonna.
My office is already
everywhere.
set. I'm set, guys. Did I
love
tell
it.
you
Okay.
I got like another one of you remember when we saw Nosferatu? We got those little posters.
Yeah.
I got the one with Willem Dafoe as well.
Good for
So-
you. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is like there's a table that you walk by as
There
a
is.
general audience member.
100%.
You just walk by it, and Ed is like, "Stop."
I
What do you
ran out
have
of my
here?
way. Even after getting the Brutalist poster, I went to that table to see
Excuse
what
me,
they
sir.
had. Yeah.
Okay. No, I just wanted to ask real quick. Sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Brutalist.
Okay,
Ed.
Brutalist. Yes, this is the 3.5 hour epic from Brady Corbett. Starring
kind of like new and young director, right, or up and coming.
kind of up and coming. He's done like one or two feature films, but they were kind of like,
And he's like, you know
indies.
what? For my third one, fuck it, 3.5
Yeah.
hours.
Let's do it. 3 for 3.
It's very impressive. And I got with the people I went with, got a variety of reactions, none of which were negative. I was just kind of like mostly in awe with this movie, though I didn't feel like an emotional connection to it personally.
There it is.
Some of the people with me certainly did, like sobbing for the whole second half of the movie. It is yeah, it is such a long journey, and yet it does not feel as long as it's set up to be. It's a 15-minute intermission, which flew by. By the time we were walking back in, it was already rolling again. But it really didn't feel that long. I felt like the first half of the movie worked a lot better than the second half. It depends what you take from it. If anything, I was just like, wow, it really went to some places in the second half that I wasn't expecting. And I'm trying to be as like non-spoilerific about it. But for sure, all of the performances were really good. This is on just like the most plainest level. Like, yes, the story of like an immigrant coming to America, and like in the broadest of terms, it's like that struggle. Basically, it just happens to be this architect who's hired by this millionaire played by Guy Pearce, who's also really good in it. And yeah, I think what you take away from it will be really just kind of like, it's going to vary. Like I said, we got mixed reactions, none of which were negative. Again, it's a very impressive film. It looks gorgeous. The IMAX was full of this just gorgeous like architecture and landscapes, and it really is like quite stunning. Like I was really just like taken aback by it. It's hard to describe and sum up without like getting into spoilers on certain things.
How about this? After you walked out of the movie, you were like, I kind of want to see it again. Or were you like, oh, yes. I got what I needed?
No,
what was your reaction?
I definitely would like to see it again.
Okay.
And again in theater, like if not 70 millimeter, then the IMAX, because it's incredibly impressive. Just like the image that they capture in the frame is really stunning. Like even in the like,
and the pacing was okay too. Like
it kept moving. It is a bit of a sad story, but it does keep moving. I didn't feel bored at any time. I was constantly curious of where it was going. There were some shocking moments. It didn't feel pretentious.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah,
it feels like it insists upon itself. Like
absolutely, I think that's to do a lot with the marketing and just trying to get this movie out there. And I understand that you want to hype it up as this thing. You know, I think if you go into it with just leveled expectations, that it is just kind of like a cut and dry. It's not a biopic. It doesn't. It's not depicting any real life people, but rather the stories could be similar to
real life
different times and people in history, and the brutalist movement in architecture and art in the US and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it is again for like a not necessarily up and comer, but fairly new director. Like this is something you would expect from like Martin Scorsese, as far as just like the
Scorsese, Nolan.
Wow,
like
the scope of it. Just the scope of it is very like it's very clean. And yeah, no, like solid cast. I do get why it's getting the buzz that it is. I'm not saying that I was disappointed in any way. You know, I love a good cry in a movie. It didn't resonate with me, and I was surprised when one of my friends came out of it just weeping. And I was
think
like,
that's the thing.
Wow.
It's like when a movie's like, oh, you're gonna get sad about this. You know, it's like when that happens, it's like, okay,
yeah.
That kind of turns me off a little bit sometimes.
No, I get that too. You know, when I showed the trailer for this movie to Sarah, the moment she saw Adrian Brody at the beginning of that trailer, she was just like, "Oh, good, it's another Adrian Brody sad movie." I was like, "Oh, damn!"
I love her. I love her.
So yeah, no, I totally get that, but it's not like misery porn. It's really just kind of like this gradual character study of this guy who escaped the worst atrocities to come to this whole new shitty system of this country in the third or post-war, I guess it's technically in the later 40s when it starts, but it takes place over some number of years. The intermission was really just kind of refreshing, but like I said, I never felt bored at any time. And by the time intermission came around, I wasn't like bursting to go to the loo or anything, but it was nice to have that reprieve. But I wonder if I would have felt differently if it didn't have an intermission. You know, like it kept going on that momentum.
I did want to ask if you felt like the intermission was necessary, or if they could have cut like 20 minutes from the film and just did it all at once.
Well, that's the thing is, if anything, like when the intermission happened, I was like, oh wow, already, because it didn't feel like it had been that long, and it felt like the main core of the story was just kicking off, kind of thing.
One more final follow-up. Could you imagine if you were watching this movie at home on streaming or Blu-ray or whatever, and it just like automatically was like, and here's an intermission, take a break. You know, go get a water, go take a pee, like come back, you know?
Kiss too.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just being goofy now. I don't really want to see a movie that's that long that has to have an intermission, you know?
Avatar was 3 hours and 15 minutes without an intermission. How do you feel about that?
I felt great. I said, let's do it again, right back to back. Okay.
What was that, Luis?
I know. I forgot about that. That is a long time. Like, I just feel like, do we need to be making movies this long? I don't know.
James Cameron would just say, shut up and go to the toilet. Like, it doesn't matter.
We talked about it last week, but I love the way the tide is shifting in this podcast. Okay. We're not trying to waste our time, babies.
I mean, I have a life to get to as well.
Yeah,
like, I have
exactly.
Like, I need to take care of my life. And
the Brutalist it was an easy 3.5 hours. Like, honestly, it felt.
And it wasn't misery porn either. Like, it wasn't like, well, look at us all being sad all the time, because that's I don't want to be like that for 3.5 hours. Not at all.
It was actually surprisingly. I'm not saying it was like a laugh riot by any means, but I
was going to ask, did you laugh at something?
Yeah. There were a lot of moments where people laughed, no, it wasn't oppressive, because I was thinking that I was just like, it would really be something if this movie was just like complete misery on IMAX, like for 3.5 hours.
And those loud ass IMAX cameras like zooming in to the person.
It's like it is like sad. There is like sad parts to it. It gets dark towards the end for sure. But yeah, no, it's really well. It handles itself very well. It moves quickly. It's very well shot. It looks great, and the acting is like top notch. I like, for a year where I feel like the male lead category is kind of like bone dry, and that's, you know, I haven't seen a lot of the movies where they're talking about that, but like I'm not interested in seeing a complete unknown. But like Adrian Brody for sure is very good in this kind of thing. So,
all right.
And Guy Pearce, for sure, I would like to see some awards attention for him. I'll just say this, like, yes, could you wait till streaming? Sure. But like the look of this movie and the purpose of this movie is to be, and I know it's such a cliche, but like to see it on the biggest screen possible. Yeah. I would say, I have a 70 millimeter, but IMAX seemed to really make the most of the VistaVision, like the height of it. Like it's a really stunning film. And I know that really doesn't make it a great movie just off of that alone, but it's worth the big format for sure.
Okay.
Well, I tell you what.
This movie felt like this whole podcast felt like the Brutalist, huh?
This is a long ass episode, man.
What are you talking about? We just got started, right?
We used to do 2 hours and 45-minute episodes. Did you remember that?
Yeah, we tightened up, dude. We tightened up. And this is a long one for us now.
Yeah, that's my fault mostly.
No, you're good. You're good.
I would say I've got a big TV. Like I can just watch these movies at home. Like I've got a sound bar. both my ears work good.
There you go.
Like
just watch it on your phone, or the next time you're on a plane, try and watch it on that screen.
I'll tell you what though, guys, at least I'm watching something on a plane. Okay, like I'm trying. Okay,
as opposed to what?
What an episode!
Oh, I love your transitions to the outros, Miguel. Keep going.
I just, this is great. You guys are great. Like and subscribe.
My Taco Bell is outside, freezing to death.
No, I had a big dinner tonight. Guys, if we're talking about freezing for a second, look at the way we're all dressed. You two are just like kind of very casually. I'm like, look at 1, 2, 3. I've got another white shirt under here. I've got 4 layers on.
So much.
It is. We got negative 10 degrees coming next week. I'm cold.
I'm
okay,
jealous.
I'm cold.
Well, this is like Avatar. We got fire and ash in LA. We got cold and freezing in Colorado.
And it's wet here, so the way of water.
There you go. With our powers combined, we are Avatar. Tune again next week. I think we'll talk about some of the stuff we're into. Like I watched Anora, I watched Wallace and Gromit, Miguel watched Trap, Ed watched The Wicked. We still haven't seen. I want to hear. And I want to hear Ed's thoughts. on that. Do you want to wait? Do you want to next week? Okay, hey,
no, you have to wait.
Your movie. Yeah. So I was about to say, like, if you want to hear it now, you can.
No, it'll be a whole other hour to get through.
No, Heretics, Smile 2, Blink Twice, Thelma, Real Pain. Like next week can just be like a smorgasbord of things. Like that'll be our feature discussion.
Yeah, I thought we were doing our end of the year next week.
Oh fuck, you're right.
You know what? But we'll also do some what we're into too. We'll hear Ed's Wicked thoughts. Come on, we got to hear Ed talk about Wicked next week.
We'll do. If there's not a lot of news, we'll go straight into the top 10. We'll do the Wicked news, and then we'll see where we go from there.
The Wicked.
We don't have to. The audiences want to hear our logistics on this.
Oh yeah, you don't have to hear this.
What an episode!
Just wait till next week. But until then, it's been me, Luis Gonzalez, and with me's been
Miguel Sanchez. Oh, you fuck! I'm doing a bit from
All
earlier. You weren't even here.
It's been me, Luis Gonzalez, and with me's been
Miguel Sanchez
and Ed Bull.
And until next time, is there like a tagline from the Brutalist that we should say?
Welcome to America.